from the side. Hoda, I'm like, this is seriously the Today Show prom.
Okay, I wear a size 9.5, 10. These are size 8.5, so I can't feel my feet. Ah. Go well! That was the pickup we needed!
There's a lot of dancing, strong spike. Feeling good.
It's just so early. So early.
Chanel gets the game ball, deservedly so, every Halloween.
We're basically just doing the warm-up for Chanel. Facts. That's what we do.
Facts.
Excuse me.
Now we have to close the door.
This is how the magic happens. White boots, big hair, can't lose.
My name is Brunel. Look at that.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Yay, baby.
I would say we tackled that rather well, wouldn't you?
Well, I would indeed. Look, this fun is just getting started. And coming up next, we're going to show you how International Day of the Girl is truly a global production here at Today. So don't go away.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your news feed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Making of Today. So each year, Today celebrates International Day of the Girl. And Savannah, I know this is one of your favorite days on the show.
It's a good one. It's a day focused on lifting female voices and bringing girls together from all over the world. And this year, we dedicated a special hour to the girls and women of Afghanistan. Our team worked tirelessly to make this day happen, reporting from Texas, Wisconsin, London, and back to our plaza in New York. And here's a look at how it all came together.
It's International Day of the Girl! Woo!
International Day of the Girl, dedicated to highlighting leading female voices from around the globe. Malala Yousafzai, sisters Jamila and Sharifa, and a young Afghan woman who concealed her identity to protect her family. Behind the scenes, our producers working hard to bring these important interviews to you.
So we're going to get masked up and get to work and show you how we do it.
Ready?
First up, Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai. I had the chance to sit down with this incredible woman. Our team checked in from our home base at 30 Rock.
I am working on the Malala interview with Savannah Guthrie. I'm producing the New York side of the interview, and right now we are getting set up in an office, so we're making the office a little studio.
With Malala and our UK staff setting up across the globe.
We've traveled from London to Birmingham, England. We're about to transform this boardroom behind me into our studio for the day.
Our Today team is eager to showcase these important stories, working to get the right shot.
We are trying to do something kind of unique where we're almost going to make them look like they're in the same space.
How did that strike you in those moments?
Savannah, I just could not process what was happening in Afghanistan.
Perfect audio.
To make sure he has the best possible sound, he's brought his own carpet with him.
And lighting.
So Sean likes some of these overhead lights, but not all of them for the interview. So what does he do? he puts this flag up to block them out.
And in Texas, Jenna sat down with a young Afghan woman who risked her life to come to America as the Taliban took over her city.
We are going to be shooting this in silhouette. We have to have the anchor and the interviewee pretty far away from each other, and we also have to keep it so that our guest is in the dark, but Jenna has light. So, Jorge, would you mind switching the monitor so people can see what it looks like on camera? This is Jenna's angle, and now you don't see our guest. Nifty stuff.
Are they scared for their safety?
Yeah, they're jobless. They don't have job now.
And nearby at the George W. Bush Presidential Library, 2 Afghan refugees who arrived in this country just 3 years ago sat down with Jenna and her mom, former First Lady Laura Bush, for a meal.
We have our lovely ladies, Jamila and Sharifa, setting up food that the Bushes are going to eat.
Setting up this morning, last minute camera checks.
Trying to figure out where everyone is going to sit.
Why should women here care about the women in your country?
Why not?
And then it's lights, camera, action. This International Day of the Girl was certainly one to remember.
It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of magic, and a little bit of working with people who can help you along the way.
It was a really emotional day. We were so fortunate to talk to so many inspiring women. It's one of our most cherished celebrations, I would say, here at the show.
It absolutely is, and we love it. And you know who else is all about girl power? Our good buddy, Jill Martin.
Oh, yeah, she's best girlfriend.
That's right. For the last 12 years, Jill's provided our audience with amazing savings through steals and deals.
Yes, and today she's going to let us in on the magic of what it takes to get the deals you love on our show, how we turned our studios into a blast from the past for that hour-long special called Peacock Presents Steals and Deals Throwback Edition, which I just love.
Who knew?
I mean, what a great idea.
That's right. Let's throw back to this. This morning, we've got a special Steals and Deals.
Well, we are back with a very special Steals and Deals. Yeah, back with another round of Steals and Deals this morning.
Wait. So before we get here, let's back it up a bit.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, a little further. Meet Dana, our senior lifestyle and commerce manager.
We normally book our Steals and Deals about 5 to 6 months in advance. We were looking for a product that, of course, made you feel nostalgic. I love the Kodak Polaroid camera. There was a speaker that we had that reminded me of a lava lamp, which was cool. And of course, the hair scrunchies and all those kinds of things.
Our team requests samples and researches the items. Once we pick something we think you'll love, Dana and I work to snag a great deal.
That's 80% off.
And throwing it back takes more than finding the right products. Our set designer, Ed, brought the decades to life.
We tried to create a really fun environment to represent all the different eras that are shown in the special. For the Today Show segment, we couldn't create the full set, so we created a nod to that as a tease coming up inside later.
I love the energy of being back in 30 Rock.
Every day I do this. I look down and I normally take a picture, and I think how grateful I am to be here.
I know just the thing to get me in the throwback spirit.
I was thinking this. Does this look retro?
I love that. Oh, you're so sad. That's right on theme.
And just like that, I'm ready to go.
We're heading over towards the studio now.
Once I make it onto the plaza, you never know who you're going to run into.
What was your favorite fashion trend? Because you were in the 70s, you were
a model.
A top model, yeah.
I liked skinny pants, pedal pushers, and then before that was Bermuda shorts. Remember them?
Yeah.
Not a trend. I better go and do my pies.
All right.
All of our Today Show family gets in on the fun.
Carson, does this take you back?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm 2 years old again. With lava lamps.
To TRL.
Oh, I thought you went to the 70s. Yeah, totally. Definitely.
You missed that show doing that?
No. This is like TRL for grown-ups. It feels a lot like it.
5,
The public waits.
3.
And as soon as they give the count, we're live.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Yeah,
good
right?
old days.
It does remind me of the good old days, but guess what?
What?
The best days are ahead. Because coming up next, we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how our production team gets the Today Show on the air every morning. Let's just say we think we wake up early, they wake up early. And then we get in on the Hoda and Jenna Tuesday fun.
Ooh.
I love picking their outfits. I vote every
that's
week.
what
Do you?
That's what it's about. I wasn't sure if you just chose something else.
No, Tuesday.
Ah,
You'll find out. Stay with
thing.
us. It's a thing. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it just is.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Well, over at Hoda and Jenna, Tuesday lets the viewers vote on what the ladies will wear the next day on the show. Now, you don't know this, but I got to be their stylist a few weeks ago. I selected their outfits. And this month, the men of Today got involved. Actually, you were involved, even though you don't know what Tuesday is.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of being me. After it's done, I completely forget. I can't wait to see this.
Hi again, Donna here at Today over in Studio 1A, and I am going to show you how we make Tuesday happen each week. And this week, it's all about Carson, Al, and Craig, the men of Today, choosing Hoda and Jenna's outfits. Let's go.
This is the very first time that we are choosing outfits in this way.
Okay, I know, and we're a little nervous
A
about
little
it.
bit, yeah.
3 options to choose from for Hoda, and same for Jenna. Which will the viewers choose? Were you excited when you found out that you were gonna dress Hoda and Jenna, or hopefully dress?
I was excited about the prospect of dressing Hoda and Jenna, but I will tell you, I haven't felt as much pressure to get something right, probably since naming my daughter. I don't want to be responsible if they look all jacked up on TV. I don't want the blame.
Why did you choose those outfits for them?
Because I thought they might look jacked up on TV.
So tell me about your process with Tuesday.
It was a tough process. I went into it really wanting to put the ladies in something special. For you people out there, please vote for mine. I didn't win much as a kid. I was a terrible basketball player. I was always chosen last in baseball.
So you chose a denim jumpsuit for both Hoda and Jenna.
So what if they both get voted for? We wear the same
Yes.
We wear the same
Yes.
thing. Okay, that's hilarious.
Yes. Deborah wears them, and I think they're kind of the moment. And what's great is they can also change oil after the show.
What are your thoughts on the picks so far?
Okay, so Al wants us to be twins, which
I think
might be his own
kind of
thing.
weird. Like, I feel like my mom's not gonna like that, right?
Didn't she dress you and Barbara the same way?
That's true.
So what? I think it's a nice throwback. This is the Al.
You know what I'm worried about?
What?
This region.
Well, I feel like I need the
That's
belt.
very
right?
wrong.
All right, we are outside of the stairwell where Alex has to put on all 6 Tuesday items on this one mannequin that we have. All right, that's it for today. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Can we have a drum roll, please? So was it the Al, the Craig, or the Carson? Who has more sway with our viewers?
Let's see.
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
I got the Carson, and you got the Craig.
Okay, so you are wearing the Carson, you are wearing the Craig. Do you like these picks?
I kind of like the Carson. It's cozy. Feel mine. It's really soft. Isn't that soft? And it's like jammies, and I'll wear it again. They'll let us keep it.
And spoiler alert, she did the very next day.
The Carson styled Hoda today?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Carson, thank you. You picked this outfit for me. I appreciate it.
Cashmere.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, I won. Yes.
How do you feel, Al?
Well, I still no. Savannah voted for the owl look.
I did. You know what Jenna called that, though? The diaper.
Yeah, she called it a jean diaper.
Well, Al, you lost this round to Craig and Carson.
I did.
But you should have a rematch, a fashion rematch.
I would if I cared. Anyway, in the meantime, you know who's working around the clock? Our morning production team.
Are they ever? We have a 24/7 operation here at Today to make sure we do not miss a beat, especially when we're covering breaking news. Our senior broadcast producer, Pete Breen.
Oh, the Breenolator.
Breen Industries. Well, he will show us how they get it done.
Good morning, everybody. It is 4 a.m.
When I get in at 4 a.m., we've got a full show.
So it's 4:30 a.m.
It's 4:42 right now.
So we have some decisions to make. We added a spot about Bannon and the January 6th Commission.
But when news breaks overnight, we scramble to report on it.
I'm working with Garrett Hake to do a piece on Steve Bannon and contempt charges in Congress. I'm about to call our producer, Melanie Jackson.
And I just got off the phone with Grace. We're getting launched. So from here, we'll script, we'll go into edit, and we'll have to make air for probably the top of the show, 7 a.m.
It's 5:25 a.m. I just tracked my script in my closet using a bunch of suits for audio dampening, and now it's time to take a shower and get ready for the show.
We've got a whole team that works around the clock, some from the comfort of their living rooms.
Got some monitors, my iPad with the show,
and some from 30 Rock.
I'm headed up to the control room on the 7th floor. We are making some last-minute changes to the rundown, adding some things, moving some stuff around.
By 6 a.m., it's crunch time. We're finalizing our video and scripts for the show.
Guys, good news. Most of our tapes are over, so I'm going to give Pete Breen in the control room an update.
And now it's around 6 o'clock, so we have our stories for Pop Start today. Now it's time to start writing, picking sound bites, and talk to Carson.
6:15 right now. Grace just emailed Miguel about a revision in his script. So I'm just gonna prepare my editor so we can quickly turn this around.
By 6:30, the audience is making their way onto the plaza, and Savannah and Hoda are at the desk.
I have some scripts for the talent, and I'm gonna run them upstairs.
And just like that, we're on the air at 7 a.m.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Today. And then they take a brief nap, drool a little bit, and get ready to do it all over again.
That's right. They generally nap during weather. But
we love them.
I don't take it personally.
No.
That's right. Another person who needs a nap, especially during election season, NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki.
If you are a fan of the third hour of Today, and who isn't, you've seen Steve break down the stats on everything. He's gone behind the NFL, and now he's going to show us how it all comes together on the big board in Studio 1A. Take a look.
Hi everybody, deep inside 30 Rock here on a Friday morning. It's a big Friday morning for me because they've asked me to be on the third hour of the Today Show. This is The Office, mine at least, and here we go. I don't know if you ever watched the Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon came here a few months ago and cleaned it up. I really, honestly, I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know. I probably didn't do a very good job keeping it clean. It's been worse than this, though. We got an NFL hit. We're looking at NFL playing in London this weekend. We're looking at Super Bowl odds. There was a game last night that probably affected the odds, so a lot to check in on.
So once Steve knows what he wants to talk about, it's my job to make his vision come to life and make those graphics that you see on his big board when he's on our show. So I go back and forth with the artist. Once we have the design where we want it, we'll push them over to Steve and his team to load them up on the board for air.
I actually need to go check in with my producer. His name is Adam. He's making sure right now that everything's ready to go to the boards. Say hello to the camera.
Hello. I loaded the graphics into our little screen. We updated the standings based on the Rams-Seahawks game last night.
The Rams beat the Seahawks. We're gonna go see if the Rams win last night, change the odds. These are the Super Bowl futures odds, so let's see where our good old Rams are. There's the Rams, right? It's a plus 950. That means the odds are 9.5 to 1. So we had them at 10 to 1 on the screen. It's now 9.5 to 1. It's almost the same. At some point in the next hour, I have to get changed too. That's usually a difficult thing for me. So this is not the tie I wanted to wear today. I wanted to wear this one, but it's not really tied, and I don't know how to tie it. And unless Adam, you want to
No
shake his head, he doesn't want to. So I'm stuck with this one. This is the big time now, and these are the graphics we were showing you in the computer. As you can see, they loaded into the board, and let's see if I tap the screen, do we start getting the other, there we go. That's everything we need. All right, it looks like this segment's gonna work.
We are so excited. NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki here in the studio.
We survived. I hope we survived. Did we pass the test?
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
That is the seal of approval we were looking for, so we'll do it again next time.
Oh, you gotta love Steve Khaki Kornacki. He's the man.
He is.
Well, coming up, we're gonna answer some of your questions. Nothing is off limits. Yikes.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Welcome back. So we've given you a glimpse behind the scenes here in Studio 1A, but now a closer look at us.
Don't zoom in too close. We're going to answer questions. Your questions. Fans out on the plaza asked us about our experiences anchoring today, so let's get it started.
Which of the anchors has the best sense of humor?
No. You know what? I would argue, counselor, that it would in fact be one Savannah Guthrie.
No, stop.
Yes,
You're just saying that because I'm sitting right here.
Like, we know Hoda's a cut up.
Yes.
You know, Carson's kind of crazy. Craig's a curmudgeon. But you have a very wicked sense and under the radar, no weather pun intended, sense of humor that kind of pops out odd times.
Well, I was about to say, the things I say really can't make it onto television,
No, they
can
can't.
they? No.
But that does not change the fact that you are pretty funny.
Well, you're going to have to just take his word for it.
What goes on inside the studio during commercial breaks?
We're back after local news. You would not believe how much happens during the commercial break. First of all, we FaceTime our families quite a bit.
Yes, we do. Our crew, busts their butts, do amazing changes within 3 minutes.
People probably think we have this huge studio. We don't. It's basically one big room, and during a commercial, it's like, get the albino elephant out, bring the concert in.
There it is.
Of all the things you've done in your career, what's the biggest dream come true moment?
I mean, there have been a million of them, but I did meet Duran Duran, and Simon Le Bon hugged me. I mean,
paper guy.
And as a girl that grew up in, the 80s, that was a very pinch yourself kind of moment. And also for Halloween one year, I got to be Olivia Newton-John.
Oh.
And Carson was Danny Zuko from Grease.
That's right.
And we got to do the whole dance routine, and that was pretty fun. What about you?
They've all, just the fact that I'm on the Today Show.
My people!
It's not even a dream come true because I never even thought about being on the Today Show. I was so happy when I got the job at WNBC.
Forget about those suntans.
I thought my parents can actually turn on the TV and see me.
It's pretty cool.
That was done.
This place actually exceeds all of our wildest dreams.
It does. I hope you had a good time.
We had fun.
Yes, we did. We always have fun. We thank you for watching Making of Today. That's about all the time we have. But if you want more behind-the-scenes access to Today, what's wrong with you? No, only kidding. Sign up for Today Insider. You'll get a weekly email including early access to Steals and Deals.
That's good.
That's right. Oh, that's worth it right there. Giveaways and more. All you have to do is go to today.com/insider.
And get ready because November is going to be a busy month in Studio 1A. So join us next time. Bye-bye. We have some big news this morning. Y'all are looking good.
Great to see you, man.
Good to see you. Thanks for being in the town. This has made a lot of music in this studio.
I was going to say, you've recorded in here.
Yeah, we, it's funny with studios in Nashville and stuff. You do a couple albums in one, and then you're like, well, let me go try this one out. So you kind of pop around to different studios, and so yeah, I've spent a lot of time here in Ocean Way and got a lot of. There's been some really amazing stuff that I've gotten to do in here, and so it's good to be back here.
Yeah,
down in the heart of Music Row.
This is it. Yeah. You've been as we sit here, you're getting ready to head out on tour.
Yeah.
How much have you missed those live audiences? Because this docuseries that we're going to talk about, it became very clear to me that about the age of 8 or 9, you needed a crowd.
Everything I do in music, the reason why I moved to Nashville was to set in motion me getting on stage in front of people. When I left Georgia, that was all I knew was, playing in front of, no matter the venue, the crowd, the birthday party or whatever, it was all about me making people have fun and enjoy themselves. And when you remove that element out of my life, it took some reprogramming of the brain. But I tell you, looking back, it was a lot of amazing little things with my family, and consecutive nights, same bed, going to bed at normal hours, and it was pretty amazing. And what worries me is now my boys have gotten a little accustomed to Dad being around, and now which thankfully it's summer, and they'll come out on the road. Them kind of relearning Dad not being home as much, but what's funny about my boys, they're in cell phone mode, and I swear, the transition of blowing Mom up daily has come over to me. They are 9 in the morning. They call. They make their daily request of the festivities of the day. Is it going wake surfing, golfing, fishing? Are we gonna go build a rope swing? Tree house? And they lay their daily agendas out over coffee.
So you really are running a camp. It sounds like, so you may need to get out on the road.
Yeah, but there's always boys around the house, and it's a big. My home was like that. When I grew up, and I even reference it in the docuseries. Our home was a hub. It was right in the heart of Leesburg. We had the pool. We had all the farmers. End of a summer day, my dad. They all huddled up around a truck bed, drinking beer at the end of the day talking about, is it too dry? Is it hot? When we getting rain? Did we get too much rain? So it was a little melting pot for us.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, it was funny. We were talking about American Idol before we started here. And that is you're going out to LA, you're doing all that. And you've become now over these seasons an institution on the show with Katie and Lionel. But I didn't realize how, you really wrestled with the decision about whether or not to do that show because you are so busy.
Well, I think and we were talking off camera a little bit, when you're selling out this and you're playing big stadiums and all that, and then you go over to start being a judge on American Idol, I was wondering, or are the fans thinking I'm kind of sailing off into another avenue, and you don't want to make one decision in your career that will make fans assume that you're not still focused on the touring, because at the nucleus and the epicenter of what I always want to be is a country music singer. Now, being a judge on American Idol has been amazing for me to learn. I mean, I've learned so many things about this aspect of TV, and it may morph into me being able to do more stuff like that with creating fun television shows down the road. You never know what's going to come up, but at the core of me, I want to be that country music singer. And so getting back out on the road and seeing live, people's faces and watching them have fun really kind of warms my heart. But then getting to sit next to, Lionel and Katie, and the beauty of our show is we really enjoy each other's company. We enjoy working together for the common goal of finding a legitimate superstar. And even when you watch Ryan Seacrest prepare for his job when the cameras aren't rolling, it inspires you to be a better whatever you're doing in any form. So when you're around real pros doing pro stuff, it's always inspiring. Kind of like,
You learning as we sit here?
I'm learning. I'm just
taking
soaking
notes.
in all this stuff you're putting out.
The greatness that's coming across. You did have a little bit of an example, though, what you were saying, talking to Blake about The Voice, which is he took that job. He probably had some concerns, too.
Yeah.
But it's totally changed his life and elevated him and brought in new fans. So I have to imagine there are people who love Katy Perry or Lionel Richie who watch and go, oh, I like that guy. He's kind of funny and he's goofy. I'm going to go listen to his music, and they fall in love with you.
I think that all that goes on. I mean, with Blake, Blake was one of my phone calls when I was kind of juggling whether I was going to do Idol or not. And he was like, you really need to do it. And he goes, I'm just telling you, there's things that will open up in your life that you can't understand until you get into it. And he was completely right. Even with being around Lionel and Katie, they operate in a whole different level. I mean, Lionel gets on a plane, flies to Switzerland, and plays some prince's birthday party and plays Hello and two of his love songs. I'm just sitting there listening to Lionel's stories. And when you talk about Katie, just a global pop phenomenon, I can really learn some stuff. And they learn from me too.
Sure.
I mean, Lionel's like, where were you hunting last week, boy? And I'm like, and he thinks I probably wasn't. And then I'm like, well, yeah, here's what I did last week. And he's like, you climbed what mountain and did what? And Katie and Orlando, they keep threatening to come and spend a little time in Nashville. I'm like, when y'all get here, I can put you in the city, I can put you in the country, you can have cell service, and you can have no cell service. You need to just let me know what you want to do. So yeah, it's we're having fun. I'm ready to get Lionel in a fishing boat.
I think you need to get him down on the river down there. We're about the same age, so we grew up on Lionel Richie all night long, dancing on the ceiling, all that. It's such a part of our life.
If you couldn't get a girl to dance with you to a Lionel Richie song,
that's on you.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, it's on you. It's essentially your fault.
So is that a crazy thing, though, to be sitting and to be a colleague and be on that same level with a guy you looked up to?
Yeah, when you look at Lionel's body of work he has, there are countless bodies of work around the Lionel Richie thing. And when you look at what he's achieved throughout his career, and you look at everything he's achieved, and yet he is the sweetest, most humble, engaging. He's literally, I could call him right now and go, Lionel, man, I need some help with this. When you have Lionel, you have him. And he's spent a lifetime doing that. He has spent a lifetime loving on people like he can, and it's really inspiring to be around somebody that truly never has a bad day and always lights up the room. I've been around him for 4 years now, and it's the same. You can hear him coming down the hall. You can hear him saying hey to everybody in the hallway that works. Hey, man, how you doing? What's up, brother? Hey, good to see you. And here comes Lionel. And that's, he spent a lifetime of spreading that joy. He posted a picture, and I responded. I'm like, dude, he was in Greece. And I'm like, you look 30. He literally looked 30. He's like, got Jordans on, and, and I'm like, how are you?
You thought it was a throwback
and
photo.
And he just had a birthday, and to see just how he goes about life is awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool that you get to work with one of your heroes that way and be buddies with him.
And to grow up learning his songs, following his writing technique, and now we're buddies. Are you kidding me? Really? And
well, that gets to the way you grew up and this docuseries, which I just watched the first 2 episodes. And I'll tell you one thing, I wasn't ready to be so moved so quickly through it. It's really well done. There's incredible footage from your earliest shows when you were a little kid. A lot of it shot by your brother. Why did you want to tell this 5-part series about where you come from?
It's been an evolving thing. When we started this thing, we certainly didn't know that it was going to be called a docuseries, and we didn't know, was it going to be a movie? Was it going to be a 3-hour hit play? And so the bottom line is my videographer, Michael Monaco, who is, when we hired him, he came and he lived on our bus, and he documented me. He documented everything, my shows, my laughs, my ups and my downs. One of his goals and one of his dreams was to be a part of something like this. And I kept telling him, I was like, come on now, let's don't do all this. And finally, as he kept working, he kind of whittled me down to where I was like, and then he started showing stuff he was putting together. And it started to become where, with all of the ups and downs and the highs and the lows and the laughs and the tears, we started realizing that this is something that people can watch, and hopefully we want it to be an uplifting, healing situation, and it's been well documented. And even, I tell you, going back and really digging up, Monaco and my manager and my mom and my dad and my wife and in-laws and old friends that my brother had. We had people digging in trunks of closets, pulling out old VHS tapes of when I played at the train depot in Albany, Georgia, and to go back and know that my brother was filming a lot of that, and then to know that, to see all that unfold in front of your eyes, I couldn't imagine my life not having this documented like that, because it's brought up so many wonderful memories and just so many wonderful things.
Was there any hesitation about talking through it all again? I mean, you've had so much success in your life, but you've also had so much tragedy in your life. Was that a difficult thing for you to sit and say, all right, let's sit and do it, but I'm gonna have to tell you everything, including the tough parts?
Yeah. I mean, when you start talking about the loss of siblings and even the loss of my brother-in-law, who, I don't care what nobody says, we were brothers. I mean, he was my brother. He had been in my life since I was 7, 8 years old. And the hesitancy is, gosh, you almost feel anxiety of telling aspects of your life that are so tragic. You worry about people at home just really wondering why this much tragedy and unfortunate things have happened in my life. But then I have to remember there are people out there that have gone through similar stuff that I have. I've been out on the road, or I've talked to somebody that said, you know, I lost my family, all my family, in a car wreck, and you want to know how they got through. And so me telling my story of how we get through this as a family, you pray and you feel like you're going to help some people. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to just tell the story of I mean, you know, we say it, my dirt road diary. I mean, my life was small town and riding dirt roads with my dad and my brother and my sister. And, you know, some people can, you know, I mean, I see the criticisms of my music like everybody else. I'm sure you've seen, you know, reviews of a show you did. But once people see this, there ain't no doubt of whether I came from a country scenario, and I'm proud of that. I think if people see where I come from and realize that you can come from something, apply it to your life, and then grow to other stuff, that'll hopefully inspire people too. I mean, I think it's a roadmap of the American dream, seeing where I came from to present day, and you're not gonna go through all of that without ups and downs, tragedies and bumps in the road.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
And there's the other big revelation for me, Luke, theater kid. Luke Bryan, theater kid.
You look at the things that naturally fall in place, and I was predominantly an athlete, thought I was.
We all did.
I mean, you're tall. I'm sure somebody tried.
Oh yeah, we tried.
Tried to make you hit, throw, or shoot something. I was a good little athlete, but when it got to my junior and senior year of high school, I had started playing guitar, and I'm looking around at my peers who are star athletes hitting home runs, and I'm like, it's been a minute since I hit one out of the infield. I'm like, I seem to be getting more reactions with the guitar.
Yeah.
And I really did stumble into the theater aspect. My drama teacher was Robbie Davis, who was in the docuseries, and his wife Dottie Davis, who was in the docuseries. And meeting Robbie really, when I walk into the classroom, he would make us do singing exercises. And when he heard my voice, he was like, "You're trying out tomorrow for my one-act play." And I'm like, "Man, I don't think that's my thing." And he goes, "I don't care if it's your thing or not. I'll see you after school." And he was a really, really influential teacher.
There's footage in the docuseries. So we have proof that you were good. You were good. I think it was Annie, Get Your Gun.
Annie,
You're up
Get
there
Your
belting
Gun.
it out.
Man.
But that's probably where you picked up a little stage presence, I imagine.
When you're a kid and you got to run out there in front of, and at the time, our theater program had really started turning heads. And when we announced a new musical or something, it sold out 4 or 5 nights in a row, and it was a pressure moment. It was literally the first moments of my life that I really felt pressures that I would have to conquer the same way I got to go conquer the first time I hosted the ACM Awards, or the first time I walk out on a stadium or sang the anthem at the Super Bowl. And those were the same emotions I had when I was an 18-year-old kid walking out to perform Annie, Get Your Gun, when the kind of, it was really magical stuff that was laying the groundwork.
Your dad in the docuseries, there's a moment where he says, he's as country can be, kind of a gruff guy. And he says to somebody, after watching you with the guitar, and you've got your little karaoke machine, and he said, "I think we've got another Elvis on our hands there." So clearly, he believed in you throughout this whole process. Your family believed you could do this, even with all those bumps along the way. Were there any moments, Luke, where you said, "Man, I don't know, maybe there is some other way I could go," or was it always going to be music, one way or the other? Maybe you wouldn't be selling out stadiums, but you'd be playing at bars or playing music somewhere.
There are so many people instrumental and critical in shoving me out of that nest of Leesburg, Georgia. I think when you grow up in a town like that, and there's so many kids like that, it's safe. If you show up, do this job, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
My mother and my father and my siblings and their extended group, everybody was behind me. And I tell you, even after, when I moved to Nashville, we're sitting in the studio, and 100 yards away is my first publishing deal. It's the first publishing company that I wrote for. And me and my fellow writers in there, their family didn't support them. They moved to town to prove their family wrong. And it broke my heart when you hear stories like that, because that was not my dynamic. I had support. I had love. I still meet kids to this day. Well, my dad, they think I'm crazy to move to Nashville. They think I'm they think I'm just out goofing off.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to hug them and go, "Well, man, you're not. You're the or girl, you're not." Or, it makes you want to rally behind them. But I even said in the docuseries, if I needed a new guitar, you know, Santa Claus brought it, you know. As we were growing as a little band, if I needed a set of speakers, and, you know, my dad would come up to me and he'd give me some, he'd be, you know, writing the check. You better go be something one day. Go get them, you know. So we'd go get the speakers, and that was always going on. When I got to Nashville, it was never anything but go make your town, your family, and your friends proud, and go have some fun doing it. We all knew if it didn't work out, I could have went back and worked at the peanut company or sold fertilizer, or even worked with my brother.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
So when we talk about coming to Nashville, for people who don't know, literally the night before you're about to come here and chase your dream, you lose Chris.
Right.
And you put that dream on hold for longer than I remember. I mean, you were back in Leesburg for 4 or 5 years, I think.
When Chris passed away, it was, it was just devastating. And it was devastating because no one was more fired up about me going to Nashville than him. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing would have kept him off that tour bus to come work for me when stuff started happening. And in 96, fall of 96, when he passed away, I had just turned 20 years old, and I had decided. We had an apartment, me and Michael Carter, my guitar player, who is still my guitar player, and he's in the docuseries. We had an apartment. We had plans. We had and he passes away, and he actually moved. Michael moved up here, and a couple months later, he's just like, "Look, it's just I can't do it without kind of." It was about me and you, and actually we went back to college. He went to Georgia Southern. I went to Georgia Southern. And that's where I met Caroline. And that's where I formed, got an even bigger following going. Losing Chris really put my Nashville dreams on hold for 5 years. But looking back, I wonder, would I have been this naive 20-year-old kid from the South, moves to Nashville, overwhelmed, first time away from home, would I have given up? Would I have been dejected? Would stuff not have gone like I wanted to? And so when I came here when I was 25, I had a lot more living. I was a little more savvy. And I was even much more focused. I mean, there's no telling what trouble I would have gotten in when I was 20. So it really set my life and my path on a different trajectory. And
and you were back with your dad at the peanut mill. And
I learned that peanut season might not be, music may be a little more fun than peanut season.
Do you have moments, Luke, where you walk out onto a stage and there are 40,000, 50,000 people in some football stadium? Do you ever go, You think about Leesburg.
Every time.
You think about being in a tent in Statesboro playing for 10 people. Do you think about that?
Every time. I mean, I think what I've tried to do in my career is really relish, enjoy, appreciate every moment. And I think you've got to really live in the moment while it's happening. And you've got to understand, too, that things will change and potentially that moment may not always be like that. And do I want to be the old bitter guy that's mad because it wasn't like it was? No, I want to be the happy guy every day because I achieved it. I figured it out, and I had the time of my life doing it. And I had the time of my life doing it with a bunch of wonderful people around me, and that's the cool thing, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't step on a stage. I mean, some of my songs, I mean, when I go, you got your hands up, and you look out there and everybody's got their hands up, and nobody at that moment is worrying about anything. They're not worried about their taxes. They're not worried about their job. They're in the moment with me, and that's just spiritual. And it always is, every time.
It's like your adorable school principal says right at the beginning, he's never forgotten Leesburg.
Well,
it's with him all the way.
I know, and I go back there more than ever these days. So I'm loving getting back too. Got this tan right here on the Flint River.
Is that Flint River
That's
tan?
Flint River tan.
You get a little Tulane in the boat with you.
I like that plug.
Well, I could talk to you for hours about it. The series is amazing. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you.
Yo, Today All Day, up next on #Cooking, Samah Dada has the cure to your midday munchies. She's going to whip up 4 easy snacks so you'll always be prepared when hunger strikes. First up, Samah making one of Hoda's favorite sweet treats, dates stuffed with almond butter that can be served hot or cold. Then she bakes up a simple super maple almond granola. And finally, she's making popcorn that's spiced with garam masala. Say bye-bye to butter with a spicy snack.
I'll just say this, okay? If you have a first date with one of these dates, you will be having more. I can't with myself. I cannot go a single day without snacking. Whether I'm at home or on the go, it is simply #always snack time. Honestly, a world without snacking is simply not one I want to live in. So I cannot wait to show you 3 of my favorite weekly snack staples, my delicious stuffed dates, warm and frozen, my nutty maple granola, and my delicious masala popcorn. I love dates, and no, I'm not talking about the romantic kind, I'm talking about the medjool kind. They are my favorite sweet snack to eat throughout the day, and I'm going to show you how to make them 2 ways, warmed and stuffed and frozen and dipped in chocolate. Most dates come with pits, so I've actually already pitted these. I've got about 10 here, so I'm just going to now take them on a little journey to the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds just to get them really nice and warm and juicy. Who needs a first date or a second date when you have 10 dates ready to be stuffed with almond butter? Warming the dates brings out their already naturally golden and caramel flavor, and then when you stuff them with almond butter, the heat actually allows the almond butter to melt so it gets really nice and gooey and delicious. I really already want to eat one right now. Okay, we're gonna start stuffing them. So I've got a creamy almond butter here. You can also use a crunchy almond butter. You can use a peanut butter, a cashew butter. If there are any nut butters that you're harboring in your pantry, this will be a great time to use them. I'm pretty generous here. I would say I use about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons just because I like a lot of almond butter, but you can totally choose however amount works best for your life. Because we've pitted the dates, it actually serves as a really nice pocket for the almond butter to just sit in, a little home, you know? It's like this date was meant for almond butter. You know what I mean? Right? Good form, I think. And I'm just gonna continue with the rest of my dates. So actually, Hoda saw this recipe on my Instagram and has now deemed it to be her favorite snack.
You take a date, and remember I told you the whole thing?
Yes.
You nuke it, you put in some dark chocolate and some almond butter.
yeah.
You know what I like? I like the melted chocolate in the peanut buttery nut butter thing with the salt.
So Hoda, if you're watching this, it's for you. You can kind of see how when I put the almond butter inside this little pocket, it starts to melt a little bit and looks so gooey. Oh, it's like a little river of almond butter that I want to swim in. It's a lucky date. I crack only myself up. So for this recipe and a lot of the other recipes I make using dates, you want to make sure you're buying the medjool kind. I'll just say this, okay? You have a first date with one of these dates. You will be having more. I can't with myself. Someone's got to hold me back for making another date joke because it will happen again. Okay, wait, this guy needs a little more almond butter. I'm so sorry I neglected you for a second. Okay. Okay, I am drowning in almond butter. All of my dates have been stuffed with the almond butter. They look really nice. They look ready to go out on a date. I need to stop. I'm done, I promise. Now that I'm done stuffing all of the dates, I'm just gonna top it with a little bit of sea salt, just to bring out that sweetness and balance everything out really nicely. I sometimes also like to use a salted almond butter too, and that's gonna really create that naturally salty sweet combination, which we love. All right, and there you have it. My favorite warm stuffed dates, my coffee companion, my favorite date.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? Yeah, 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. By the banter deliberations.
All right, it just made too.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? Yeah, 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. By the banter deliberations.
All right, it just made too.
In my opinion, you can never have enough dates, so I'm going to show you how to make another recipe using dates. They're frozen, stuffed with almond butter, and then dipped in chocolate. So we've got our dates already pitted, and now we're going to just go ahead and stuff them straight with almond butter. This should feel pretty familiar. Again, we're gonna have the almond butter find a nice little home in this pocket that we've created by pitting the dates. And remember, we are going to be submerging these in chocolate, so we wanna make sure that we don't overfill it with almond butter so that it gets a bit messy, even though we love a bit of messy chocolate. So sometimes when I look at my freezer and I'm like, where did all of the ice cream go? I make these instead. They're also super quick to pull together and use mostly what you have in the pantry. And if you're not keeping dates in your pantry now, take this as your sign to start. If you have a nut allergy, you can even use a tahini or a sunflower seed butter as well. And then when you're done freezing them, they seriously taste like a candy bar. I know you think I'm crazy, but they do, I promise. I eat them for dessert, I eat them as a snack during the day. There's so many things you can do with them. They really are the perfect date. Dates are the perfect date. They are. I'm sorry. And now for my chocolate. All I'm gonna do is melt it in the microwave with a little bit of coconut oil. This is gonna help it get nice and smooth and glossy. We're gonna do this in 10 to 15 second increments, and we're gonna keep stirring throughout so it gets really nice and smooth. Put that straight in there. Got my spoon at the ready for stirring, and now I'm gonna head to the microwave. Go back in the microwave. Now it is time to take our dates for a little swim in chocolate. I think they're excited about this, I'm not sure. Here's what we're gonna do. Grab a date, just drop it straight into the chocolate. Don't worry, it likes this. Roll it around so that the entire date is coated. Make sure you get that residual chocolate to kind of drip off the sides of the spoon like this. And now we're just gonna place it back onto our parchment paper. And now we're going to chocolate swim and repeat. This is like a very luxurious bath, I have to say, for the dates. Because we've stuffed these dates with almond butter, we want to make sure we're rolling it in the chocolate a little bit gently, just so that the almond butter doesn't come out. It's okay if you get a little messy here. It's part of the game. It's part of the date. No, that wasn't good. Serve this to your next date. That was better, that was good, that was good. Will I ever stop making date jokes after this? No. Don't expect me to stop. No, it's not gonna happen. It's part of my brand now. One final date. Now, just for good measure, I'm gonna add a little drizzle of chocolate on top. It's gonna make it look really pretty. I don't believe in less is more when it comes to chocolate. I think we always need more chocolate. If you don't like chocolate, I wanna understand you. Please drop me a line. But also, if you don't like chocolate, that's fine. Like, it's totally okay. But I still wanna understand you. Okay. Now I'm just gonna top them with a little flaky sea salt. This is really gonna bring out that sweetness, balance out the chocolate. It is the perfect combination. I'm using a flaky sea salt as well, so it looks really pretty and a little fancy. Okay, we're salted. And now we're ready for the freezer. Can we take a moment? Look at how cute they look. These dates are ready for their date. Gotta stop making date jokes. Okay. These are honestly so good because of the chocolate, because of the almond butter, and that little flaky sea salt. They seriously taste like a candy bar. America's favorite candy bar. You know what I'm talking about. Plating my hot dates with my frozen dates. We're going on a lot of dates today. They honestly look so good. I love them. You know what? I need to take a picture of these to send to Hoda. I know this is her favorite snack. She's gonna love the chocolate ones too. These dates are fully ready for their close-up. It's almost unfair. All right, got the shot. I think it's time for me to taste. I mean, look at that. Mmm. It is so good. The dates are so sweet. The almond butter works so well. That salt, it's making everything come to life. I knew there's a reason why I eat these every day. Now that my dates are done, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Let's keep this between us. Granola is super easy to make at home. I'm gonna get the ingredients so I can show you how.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the banter deliberations.
All right, it just made too.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In prime time and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your newsfeed to life. Streaming live every night, it's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the banter deliberations.
All right, it just made too.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Granola is one of my favorite things to make at home. It's super versatile, so you can eat it solo, just munch on it as you're going about your day, or serve it with your favorite yogurt or milk. I'm going to show you how to make my favorite nutty maple granola. For any granola recipe, I like to separate my wet and dry ingredients. We want to make sure that all of the ingredients are thoroughly incorporated, so that's why I'm going to do this. I've got some melted and cooled coconut oil here, and I'm just going to add the rest of my ingredients. I'm using some of my almond butter. And this is going to serve as a really nice mixture for the oats and nuts and seeds and whatever else we're adding to this granola to really cling onto, so we can get those really crunchy clusters. And clusters are why we're all eating granola in the first place anyway, right? Almond butter is in. To sweeten it up, we're going to add some maple syrup. This is the maple portion of my nutty maple granola. Maple adds this really nice golden richness to the granola. It's so good. It's really lightly sweet, so it's not too sweet. I've got all my wet ingredients in my bowl, and now I'm just gonna whisk it until it's nice and smooth. Be careful here. Wear an apron. I don't do it, but you should. We're whisking, and we're whisking. And I just wanna whisk this until it's nice and smooth, making sure that all of the ingredients are thoroughly incorporated. Okay, wet ingredients, we're gonna set them aside. They're gonna hang out for later. And now I'm gonna get to work on my dry ingredients. Because I like to maximize the presence of clusters in my granola, it's very important to me, I'm gonna crush my nuts before I add them into my oats. So in order to do this, all you have to do, add your nuts into any sort of bag, take a rolling pin or even a bottle, and just get your stress out, like this. You can also roll them if you're more delicate, but I'm really going for it today. I promise I'm a very patient person in general. We want them to be coarsely crushed, but it's okay if we have some bigger or smaller pieces because it's nice to have some texture with our granola. We like the crunch. Okay? I've got my bowl of oats right here. And now I'm just gonna add all of my dry mix-ins in. Adding my pecans in here. My stressed pecans, the result of my stressed pecans. I should also say that if you've got any nuts or seeds that have just been hanging out in your pantry for a little too long, this is a great opportunity to use them up. I'm adding some almonds in now. Just gonna use some cinnamon here. You can also use some nutmeg if you'd like, really whatever you'd like. And then we're gonna add a little pinch of salt. And now I'm just gonna fold in all of my dried ingredients together. Make sure everyone gets to know each other. It's very friendly granola. Now that I've mixed all of my dry ingredients together, I'm just gonna add in my wet ingredients and mix everything together. Okay, here we go. It's very aesthetically pleasing. This wet mixture is really what's gonna help this granola have clusters, so I like to make sure when I am mixing both the wet and dry ingredients together that everything is really nicely coated. Okay, listen closely. The really important thing when you're making granola is to make sure that everyone has some personal space. So we wanna make sure that all of the oats and nuts in this entire mixture is spread out in a very even layer so everyone has room to breathe. By spreading everything out, we're also gonna make sure it bakes in a very even and crisp layer. And we're just patting everything down really gently, spreading it out nicely. We don't wanna pat anything too hard to crush any of the nuts. Now that everything is spread out, I'm just gonna go bake in the oven at 325 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. While our granola is baking, we want to make sure that we're stirring it every 10 to 15 minutes so we can ensure an even and crisp bake. Spread it out evenly again, and then back in the oven we go. The secret to super crispy, crunchy, clustery granola is actually letting it cool completely before you break it apart and serve it. I know it's tempting, but just don't touch it for a little bit, okay? This granola is completely cool, so now I'm just gonna break it apart and add it to my plate. I mean, you just can't. You can't say no to this. This is crazy. Look at how crunchy. The clusters are what I live for. It's the only reason I eat granola. Like, this is the most satisfying thing to me, ever. I will break it apart though. Just a little bit. We want to maintain those clusters though. I'll take granola over a granola bar any day. That's just me. And did you see how easy it was to throw this together? You literally just combine both your wet and dry ingredients and you've got this super delicious, one can, amazing granola. And look at this bake. It's so even, so golden and crispy. Okay, it's time for me to taste. I'm waiting to dig into this cluster this entire time. Lightly sweet from the maple syrup, not too sweet, so it's a perfect breakfast companion. Or honestly, you could eat this at any time of the day. You could even top ice cream with this. It's a really nice, crisp, golden layer on top of some vanilla ice cream. Sign me up. You know what? My dad loves this recipe. I make it for him all the time. I'm gonna send him a picture so he can be a little bit jealous of me in it too. So he can remember my face. He knows what I look like. He's gonna be so jealous. So good. Speaking of my dad, this next recipe is inspired by him and something he used to make all the time. So I'm gonna go grab the ingredients and start popping some popcorn.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a variation of a popcorn recipe that my dad used to make all the time. Poor guy. My mom, my sister, and I would always steal some before he could even have a single kernel, so I guess this is redemption for him. I'm going to show you how to make your popcorn really delicious, really flavorful with this spice-infused olive oil mixture. So I've already popped my popcorn, and now I'm just heating my pan on medium-low heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. You can use your favorite spices here, but I'm going to use one of my favorites, which is some garam masala. This is a really common blend of Indian spices, and it's really delicious, really warming, creates a very savory flavor in this popcorn. I'm going to add this straight to my oil, along with some cayenne pepper. This is going to take it up a notch in the spice department because I like things very spicy. Finally, I'm going to add a little pinch of salt. And now all we're going to do is just stir our spices. Now the reason that we're heating the spices here in the oil is because nobody likes a raw spice. Raw spices are not cute to eat, so we want to cook the spices with the oil so they become fragrant, they become aromatic, and it just infuses a lot of flavor into your popcorn. I was so obsessed with popcorn in college, I'm pretty sure it's the only reason I made it through. I would just snack on it like all the time. Got me through my exams. Thank you, popcorn. It's done so much for me in my life. And you want to make sure you continue to stir your spices in with the oil so it doesn't burn. We're only doing this for about a minute or so until you smell that delicious aromatic spice smell. You don't want it to smell too raw. When you allow the garam masala to cook in this oil, you can really smell all of those individual spices, the cumin, the cloves, the coriander. It smells so fragrant. So my spices and my oil smells really aromatic. I've cooked it for about a minute. Now it's time to just drizzle it over my popcorn. There we go. I'm just gonna shake it up so everything is fully incorporated in here. Now I'm gonna drizzle it over my popcorn. It smells so good. Now I'm just going to toss it so that everything is well incorporated. This is just a really great way to make a flavor-infused popcorn so that you're not just going with the plain salt, you're not just going with the plain butter, there's a little something extra going on. Now that my spices are fully incorporated in my popcorn, I'm going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast. This adds a very cheesy and savory flavor to the popcorn without actually adding any cheese. Mix that in a little bit. And then I'm gonna finish with a little pinch of salt. I have to show my dad that I made this. It's a little bit better than his. Don't tell him. I'm so mean. It smells so good. I seriously wish you could smell it. I cannot wait to dig in. So I'm just not gonna wait. I'm going to dig in. Oh, come on. Okay, this might be dramatic, but I don't think I can eat regular popcorn ever again. It's so good. And again, you can use your favorite spices here. You can even do a little salt and pepper, a little garlic powder. Really make it your own, but just know that I have a feeling you will not go back to regular salted popcorn. Butter? Who is she? It's so good. It's really good. You guys should try this. The next time you get a snack attack, all I have to say is just don't panic. Remain calm. Make these 3 recipes. They're so delicious and the best way to keep your days going. Whew. Hey guys, super busy, cooking up a storm, but I have something exciting to tell you. #cooking is back. So tune into Today All Day. Okay, I got some in the oven. I gotta go. See you later.
Good morning, I'm Savannah Guthrie, and this is Today Show Confidential. This week kicked off celebrating International Day of the Girl with so many inspiring voices, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai.
Believe in yourself, believe in your voice, believe in the dedication and determination that you hold for the things that you believe in. You can make it happen.
Then, lots of visitors to Studio 1A. Jimmy Fallon stopped by.
Things are back in business. Does it feel like old times? Does it feel like it used to feel?
We're back. We have great guests. I had a martini last night with Daniel Craig.
I know.
Cool.
The last press he ever did as James Bond.
I know.
I was like, what?
Martha Stewart returned to the plaza.
Saute half of them in a pan. Add 2 tablespoons of flour. Oh yes, 1/3 of a cup of bourbon. That's good. That's good. Yeah, well, a little bit more won't hurt.
And Reba McEntire.
What is There Life Out There is a song that people can relate to in their own way. If they're a little depressed or a little down, or if they're just wondering what's left in life for me. And this is a song that's reassuring them, yes, there is life out there.
Plus, for extra cuteness, a check-in from the newest member of our Today Show family, Baby Rusty.
Exclusive. Thanks, guys.
We'll start plugging your book in a second. Let's get to the good stuff. How is Baby Rusty?
Baby Rusty is, he's a dream. It makes Ollie look so difficult because this baby literally just sleeps and eats all day long, and it's no problem.
And now, here are the cutie pie hosts of Today Show Confidential. It's Libby, Mraz, and Pete Breen.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Savannah.
That was nice of Savannah to do that. Cutie pies.
I know we've said this before when we have anchors track our opens, but there's a little cynicism, snark in all of them.
You think they're like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now?
Yeah, there's a little bit of I'm making fun of you right now.
It feels right.
Cutie pies?
By the way, that was probably scripted. All I heard was that was cute. That's all I heard. I'll take it. All I heard.
Also, the way they track with such flourish.
Yeah, well, they know what they're doing.
There's a little bit of a dig in there.
Do you think they're thinking, these people work for me? Why am I reading something for them? Why are they on the radio?
I think they're thinking all those things.
Yeah.
And I think that they use their extra TV voices. When
How about this? We're on the radio because we have a lot of dirt to dish. And
Yes.
we're awesome.
Nothing makes Pete more sensitive is when you kind of tell him he's not a star.
He even laughs at the prospect of that.
I mean,
at the full, even
He's
the
like
mention.
snotted. I was laughing so hard.
And even the mention of
how
him not
dare
being a
they?
star.
yeah,
I
I mean,
think they are.
I mean, we raise this all the time, but there are people had suggested you track things for the show. And...
Right. And by the way, when I did, it was fantastic. Soon we're going to be streaming, and I still hold. I said right before we went on the air, once we start streaming, I think we surprisingly are going to be huge. It's going to be a shockingly big show.
Well, we are live. We are streaming live on SiriusXM right now.
We are.
Of course we are.
Yes,
of course.
we are.
The place to listen.
Right.
The only
and that,
place
by the way,
to
that's
listen.
all I need. But when we go on Peacock, it's going to be even bigger.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be today all day.
Yeah.
Today.com/all day.
There you go. Wow. Very
Libby,
good.
where can you find that again?
Well, you can go to today.com. You can go to today.com/all day. I mean, there's plenty of places
So
to
many
find
places.
it. Yeah, it is.
Platforms.
The easiest way, I think, is just to go to our website. It's on the top.
Right on top right.
It just streams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
it's just right there.
Stream with
But
us.
It does.
Pete really believes that when people see our faces, we are
I
going to go
think
big
quite
time.
the opposite.
You guys don't
I
get
got a
it.
face for radio here, buddy.
We are going to be big.
I think both of you,
Yeah.
given the stress of your hours, look really good.
Well, thank you,
Feel
Libby.
really good.
And I don't know how you do it. Mads, it's time to tell your joke. How old really are
I'm
you?
only like 18. I just looked like this. The job does this to you.
Matt Carlucci, our executive producer of the weekends, reminded me that Mads tells that joke yesterday.
I'm really only 18.
It's a good one.
This job
You get a few in your back pocket, man.
ages you
That's
a
one
little
of them.
bit. Ages you a little
It
bit.
really always works.
Yeah. My COVID sandwich, it's another one I just throw out there.
COVID sandwich.
When I always say something about, I don't know.
Oh.
Yesterday when it was the burger, we're going to the Burger Bash and there's going to be 1 million people there. I said, just give me a little extra COVID on that sandwich. It'll be great.
There are certain things that we just say are just very Mads jokes. That's one of them. A little COVID on top of the sandwich.
Little dad joke.
Yeah, it's a
here and
dad
there.
joke. It's a
Totally.
Mads joke. It's
Totally.
No one tells a story like Maz, though. When it's a good Maz story, just sit back and enjoy it.
Oh, it's great.
He's animated. There's some flourishes.
No one tells you. You both
I'm under
are.
pressure right now.
I've said this a million times. You're both the two funniest people I know.
I don't know.
That's sweet.
Try to
funnier.
top it.
Pete's funnier. I'll
You
give
think
it
so?
Pete. Yeah, I do.
Actually, I think you guys have slightly different lanes and are
We
equal.
do. I would go for that.
He just got so angry.
Actually,
No,
I,
you're
like
it's
Roy
fine.
Kent. He was like Roy Kent in Ted Lasso.
I wish I could articulate. Well, people know they're listeners of
They are.
Today's Show Confidential. I'm just trying
These
to think
people
of
get it.
which lanes you actually do occupy in the
I'm just
humor
happy to be
space.
in a lane. I'm just
Yeah,
happy I
I'll
have a
take it.
lane. I'm happy I'm driving somewhere. I'm happy I'm on the road.
Well, you're both.
I'll take
Your
it.
blinker may be on all the time. Maz.
They think I'm going left, but I'm just keeping them guessing.
You're both lightning quick.
What are you doing here, Lib?
Very
I like
fast.
this.
No, I'm
Are
just.
we dying?
I like this.
Am I dying?
Are we?
We need this. We need this, Pete. We need this for our ego.
No,
Yeah,
this
okay.
is called talent management.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just making sure you guys feel good about yourselves.
Libby's very good at that. by the way.
She is, clearly.
You got to be.
You have to be.
It's called survival.
It is. You got.
I've seen you do pretty well yourself.
That's it. Head's just above the water, Libby. Just above the water.
You always said never break the place.
Don't break it. That's
Yeah.
our job, right?
70
this,
years.
This show's been on the air 70 years.
Right.
The best thing we can do, don't mess it up. Hand it off to the next group. Let it be.
When I worked on Weekend today, a former executive producer said to me, "Your only job is to make sure I don't have to apologize on Monday."
That's pretty good.
That's a good one, by the way.
I think I know who that was.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, he had a lot of lines for a lot of things. That's good.
Sure
That's
did.
really good.
Yeah, well, I think all of us, we are, we are talent because we host radio shows, but
Right.
I think we all manage talent pretty well.
Yeah, we do. There's
Do our
different.
best.
Well, listen, we learn from the best, right? We learn because we have the best talent in the world on television.
We do.
So we sort of like bask in the sunshine that is our talent. We try to like absorb some of that and then take it
You know
on the
they're not
radio.
here, Maz.
No, but they might be listening. Not really.
There is no way they're
Not
listening
really.
to this.
Not
Well,
really.
I think the skills include we listen well and we, what's your line? Don't give them any information they don't need to
That's
know.
correct.
You don't burden them with stuff they don't need to know in that moment.
Right.
Right? Just like there's no need for it.
I think people have to, you don't quite appreciate when you watch TV the pressure that talent are under.
Well,
to perform.
It's funny. So we have rotating group of people through the 9 o'clock hours.
Right.
People watch, and Jacob Sobroff's been in, and he's
Yeah,
done a great job.
he's
We've had him
great.
in for the week. He's fantastic. And the other day, he flubbed one of the reader, it happens to everybody.
Sure.
And he ended up doing it like 2 or 3 times in the commercial as they were trying to fix it. and Al was busting his chops, like, and it was one of those things where you're like, you think it's easy, and it's not. It's hard. Like, and
Al basically said, "We don't flub here."
Right. And you're doing, by the way, you're doing it next to Al Roker, one of the greatest living broadcasters and an American icon,
getting the Walter Cronkite Journalism Award.
He sure did.
I looked at the list today.
That is so exciting.
It's crazy.
It
It's like
is.
like Rune Arledge is on it, who people may or may not know who that is, but a legendary TV executive, started Monday Night Football, ran the news division. Like Barbara Walters.
Wasn't Al on the email, if I'm remembering correctly, say, "Are you talking about me?"
Yeah, he said me? Really?
So somebody let him know over email that Al won the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism, and I think Al wrote back something like, "Is this the wrong email? Right. Talking about me?" But
no, American treasure.
Yeah, absolutely, and one of the best broadcasters ever to do it.
Absolutely,
and they all are.
They are, and
top of their game.
It's funny when they're not here. You're like, you know what? We miss them. Like when they're off. Al was at bringing Nick to college. He talked about it earlier this week. He was off on Monday. Monday was a big day for us, though. Monday was International Day of the Girl.
It was.
I forgot it was even this week.
Yeah, you said right before we came on the air.
I swear to
God. That this week?
It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was Monday.
I know.
It was only Monday.
It was Monday, and it was
Monday.
a lot. There was a lot of stuff that went into that show.
But you said Al. What were you saying about Al taking Nick?
Oh, Al. He was just talking about he wasn't in on Monday.
Oh, right.
And Janice Huff was in because Dylan is on maternity leave, so we're sort of going down the bench. But it reminded me of Al when he wasn't here. That it reminded me that he was with Nick, which I thought was sweet.
And we miss him.
His first college tour. Yep, totally.
First college tour is big.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Well, you have what's the next college tour?
I just talked to Pete. November. We're going to November. We're doing our first. We're hitting Boston, so we're going to do a whole bunch of schools in Boston.
Well, it's funny. We saw Sarah Claggett, our 10 o'clock producer friend, who we hadn't seen in a long time, yesterday or 2 days ago. Whenever we saw her, she said, "Maz, your girls, they're all grown up."
Yeah. It's like it happens. It happens.
We've
quickly.
all worked together so long that suddenly these little girls are now teenagers and in college.
I know. It's
young women.
Yeah.
They're no longer little girls. They're little women.
So Sarah Haynes, Sarah Haynes from ABC
Haynes.
from GMA.
Yeah.
She used to work here as like a production assistant at the Today Show, probably like 15 years ago. And she's stayed in touch with a lot of people at NBC, and she's incredibly beloved in our world. And I ran into her on the street not too long ago, and she's like, "How old is your kid again?" I said, "She's the oldest." I said, "She's 18." She was, I literally remember throwing her in the air. I was like, "Yeah, it happens."
Throwing her in the air on
at the Today Show, like she would come visit, and she'd run down the little aisle, and like Sarah was in the back, and she'd grab her and throw her up, and it was just like she's 18. I'm like, "Yeah, that happens."
Well, there's such a cute picture you have in your office of the girls at a Yankee game.
And I got to upgrade that because they're like 5 years old.
And I was going to say,
you got to recreate it. You got to take them to another Yankee game.
Yeah, he did recreate it.
You did last year.
Oh yeah.
If you
That
followed
seemed
Maz
familiar
closely
when I said it.
if you followed Maz closely on Instagram, I think you did it there.
I did.
Yeah.
Sure, I probably liked it, but
you're an
it's been a long time.
influencer.
Totally. Totally.
You know what's funny? I was actually talking to a 10 o'clock producer. Pete, you'll laugh at this because you and Willie are buds, but Willie and Christina Geist.
Recreating the high school picture.
Speaking of recreation, that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
If you haven't seen it, he posted a picture of he and his wife were high school sweethearts.
Yep.
And then they went back, and there's a famous picture of him in his football uniform and her in her cheerleading uniform.
So good.
And they ended up recreating it like 2 weeks ago, right?
They did. And then I didn't see the 10 o'clock today, but they apparently did a segment, and maybe you guys can come up with some, but famous couples that were high school sweethearts.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you think of it? We'll have to see. Somebody probably saw it, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are probably some that would surprise you that you don't know.
I wonder if there are any high school sweethearts listening.
Oh,
sure,
man.
that's a good one.
There we go. Now
That
you're
is
talking.
interesting.
855-355-4789. If you married your high school sweetheart
and are still married
and are
for the record,
yeah, there you go.
Or
That's a good
didn't
one.
work out. We'd love to hear your story. 855-355-4789. Yeah, I think Willie and Christina's story was just so cute, and the fact
Willie
that
was making fun of himself. He was texting me about it over the weekend.
Of course he was.
Because it was they got together because it was Ridgewood High School's 30th anniversary of them winning state football champs.
So wait, so Willie Geist won the state.
Ridgewood won state champs.
Willie Geist was the football state champion in New Jersey?
1991.
91.
Public schools?
Ridgewood High, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
What was Willie's position?
I don't know.
Left out.
There you go.
That's just a dad joke.
There's
I say whenever somebody asks that.
Yeah, so he was.
He was a star receiver.
He was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Come on, that guy.
Tight end or a receiver.
Willie Geist crushed high school. Are you kidding me?
He did, 100%.
Willie just looks like a football player.
Yeah, he's. Listen, if he was that tall in high school, I would have thrown the ball to him. He's freaking 6'11".
He looks like that.
You said friggin'. He was.
Are you allowed to say that on Sirius XM?
I believe he was.
Holly, are we getting any calls?
We are.
High school sweethearts.
Oh, look at that. She's tapping into
355
the zeitgeist that is high school sweethearts.
My parents were high school sweethearts.
Wait, what?
Bill and Kathy.
And they're still married.
Yeah. And they're still together.
Did they say sweethearts?
Sweethearts. Bill and Kathy. They went to prom together. They started dating junior year. Been together ever since.
Hey, was Duncan around during that
No,
time?
it used to be Mr. Donut, and then Duncan.
When did Duncan come into?
I think big time in the 80s with the Time to Make the Donuts. That's when it really.
I don't think you realize, but whenever Pete and I consume any Duncan product, we text it to each other.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
It's very lame.
Just because you're happy.
Yeah, it's just we both love Duncan. We have a passion for the brand.
Well, fair enough. Yes, you do.
You lit up when you said that. That's a phrase you've said in many a Zoom or
here's
Teams
America
meeting.
runs on Duncan.
So many meetings. She's so brand sensitive these days.
You are brand sensitive, Libby.
But
if you don't say brand in a meeting, you're doing nothing.
I know. Or platform. That's another word.
It's
Libby's
so
another.
funny.
If I get
cross-platform.
This new world that you have, Lib, where it's more than like just the show. It's Today the brand and Today All Day and all these things. Podcasts. When you mention stuff like, I've got a lot of slides in this meeting, I'm like, what are you even talking about right now?
Wait,
Pete, you're a brand.
Yeah,
she
right.
is.
Green Industries.
Did you see the meme the other day, Libby? And it was, I called the deck a PowerPoint presentation, so now everyone on the Zoom knows I'm over 40.
That's awesome.
No, I haven't.
It was so funny.
You got to send that to me.
It was really funny.
I
thought about it. I mistakenly called the deck the PowerPoint presentation, and now everyone on the Zoom knows I'm over 40.
Well, it's true. Yeah. I actually think Pete is a brand. We actually commissioned him to do a behind-the-scenes piece for.
I know.
The Making
Tuesday.
of Today show, our behind-the-scenes show.
Does that mean I have to get dressed up on Tuesday, Pete?
Well, apparently I'm filming with my iPhone, so.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah. Well, budgets are tough. Okay.
No, we're going. It's a look I'm going for.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's right.
As long as you can get Jared grunting in it and Maz eating Frosted Flakes.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Look at all these calls we've got.
Well, the thing is, I don't have the call bank over here.
I do.
So
I
go
can.
for
Let
it.
me just light it up. How about Amy from Florida, whose parents are sweethearts?
Same.
A la Pete Breen. Amy,
there you go.
What's up?
Do we have the same parents, Amy?
Yeah, maybe. Well, my parents actually, this was back in. I live in Jacksonville.
back in the day, I guess you would say, the kids were riding public transportation to school and after school to activities. And my dad gave my mom his seat and on the bus. And that's how they met. And here we are 54 years later, and they are ridiculously in love. Like, they don't even go to the convenience store without one another. They do everything together.
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty nice.
He says public transportation
the
is
best gift you could
terrible.
ever, exactly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stress in the world right now. It's nice to hear a story
That
that's
is nice.
positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best gift they could have ever given to me and my brother, is just showing us how to love and how to stick it out. It's really cool, and I don't know. It's just it's nice to hear, like you guys are saying, that one of you guys has parents that have been married forever, and it's uncommon and it's a gift.
Yeah, it's nice.
Pete
it is a
and Kath,
gift.
I mean, Bill and Kathy.
Bill and Kath.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, high
Amy.
school sweethearts. We love it. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. So how do your parents?
Donna from nearby
from the Cape.
Cape Cod.
Where
Pete.
are you from on the Cape, Donna?
I'm in Falmouth.
Oh, Falmouth. I grew up in Duxbury.
Wow, Pete just got excited.
Oh, neighbors.
Neighbors.
He pulled it. He's like in full Goodwill Hunting mode.
Donna,
right
you
now.
in the
Say hi to your
drive-thru at
mother for me.
Dunkin'?
Yeah.
No, I am not. I'm on my way home from grocery shopping.
Oh,
and,
nice.
So you met
my
your
husband when
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I met my husband this summer going into my senior year. I hate to say I met him at McDonald's, but I then followed him. He was in a band, and I followed him for 4 years before we got married. We've been married 47, and we've been together 51 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty
Few
good.
people know this is actually
And he-
Donna Bon Jovi.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. And my husband's back in a band after being in corporate America
there
for
you go.
35 years.
Nice.
That's a good way to bookend
So,
things. Start with a band, end with a band.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep,
Pete-
I say my butt started out on a bar stool, and that's where it's back again.
Oh, Donna, we love you. So, Donna, are you a Today Show, are you a Sirius XM fan? Are you a viewer? What is your Today Show consumption?
Both. I
Okay.
absolutely love the Today Show in the morning, and when I'm in the car, it's the Today Show Confidential.
There you go.
Love it.
Are you sure this isn't Mrs. Breen?
Seriously.
Is this Mama Breen?
It's all right, Ma. You can tell him. Donna, you are a delight.
You're not talking about. You're not talking about an accent, are you?
No, not at all.
We just want to pull it out of Pete when he talks Duxbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duxbury the Dragons. The Dragons
Oh,
played Falmouth, I believe. We've had some athletic competition, some contests, some rivalry there, from what I understand.
How do we?
Some sporting games.
I did not grow up in Falmouth. I grew up in Mass, but in Norwood, Mass.
Oh, Norwood, sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Norwood.
Norwood.
Okay.
All right. Donna, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Get some donkeys on the way home. Oh,
there we go.
Donna.
Get some
We lost
donkeys
Don.
on the way
she's-
home.
Donna, I meant.
Is that really what it is? Donkeys?
Some people say Donna.
That's
Oh, wow.
absurd. That's absurd.
Donna, I love
Donna.
Donkeys.
Donna Bon
All right,
Jovi.
Let's wrap up. Let's
Thanks
wrap
for
up the
calling.
high school sweetheart
Yeah.
conversation. What do we got? Richie. We got
Going
Richie from Texas.
Hi, Richie.
Massachusetts to Texas.
Yes, I got.
Richie, what's up?
Yes.
Tell us your story.
Richie
Tell
with
us
an
your
I.
love story.
Yes. So I have been married for 32 years to my high school sweetheart, but I have a funny story. He broke up with me 2 weeks before our senior prom.
Ooh.
And told me that I had to go to prom with him anyway because he had already spent the money. And the rest is history. We've been married ever since. So
And did you go to the prom with him?
I did. Not very begrudgingly I did, but yes, I sure did.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Really, a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the banter to the elections.
All right, it just me too.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends of today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
We're hearing high school sweetheart stories.
Yeah,
Sweetheart.
who knew that's where we were going today, Lib?
Not
Didn't
a
know.
clue.
It just, as Holly said, it just happened.
It's just organic like that. It's like our show. It's just we take it where it leads us. How about we lead us to Mitch from Georgia? Big fan. You got a question for us, Mitch?
Hey guys,
what's up,
Hey, Mitch?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I love the show. I don't remember a time in my life that it wasn't on in the house, and that goes back to Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. So
Nice.
Wow.
You're going 70s there.
Yeah. And I'm a journalist now, so I kind of watch the show from a couple of different angles. And now I'm in radio after 30 years as a newspaper person, and I anchor a newscast in the afternoon. I see a lot of the things y'all talk about with chaos happening with a live show.
Sure.
And the thing that I'm curious about is if you guys have like a special report at, say, 7:40 in the morning.
Oh, you just gave me heartburn.
Yeah, we started twitching
Sorry.
when you said that.
Sorry.
We started twitching.
What do you, that hour airs on tape an hour later in the Central Time Zone, correct?
It does.
What airs in that spot?
Oh, my God.
There was a
Mitch.
special
Who is going to take this one? I think you got to go Maz.
Yeah, Maz is the
Maz
veteran.
is the king of it.
He's the veteran.
Mitch.
I just can't imagine
Mitch,
what's be going on to make that happen.
Terrible. It's terrible when that happens.
First, you get a
quite
flux
literally
capacitor.
tapped into one of Maz's pure expertise, genius
It's
zones.
like the third rail.
He's one of
actually,
like
Mitch.
5 people in the world who can answer this question.
Yes.
I can imagine. I mean, I have a hard enough time when somebody who's supposed to call in for a live interview does it, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do for 4 minutes.
So what do you do, Maz?
Well, what we have to do is picture you're airing on the East Coast at 7:40, and say you go from 7:40 to 8 o'clock on a special report. You have to fill 20 minutes, but you have to fill it the next hour while you're still on the air.
Exactly.
So what we generally try to do is have we have the anchors tape new intros and have the correspondents fill those holes, and then we have an editor and a producer working on it and basically slapping together those 20 minutes to air in the next hour.
So it airs on. It's all taped anyway.
So it's
gonna be
all on tape.
anyway.
You can't do it live because we're live.
Yeah.
We're currently live in the 8 o'clock hour. So everything is done on tape in commercial breaks or opens or whenever we can.
And
it's
then
like
fed in by
and
our
then
tape team.
Correct, and then it feeds to a tape editor, and then they slap together essentially they put together a 20-minute fix. They patch it together.
So what happens at 7:56 when there's a commercial, but we blow through the commercial? The commercial just airs.
The commercial would air like
You
normal.
really need 16 minutes of content.
Correct. So
Yeah,
like
you time it out.
Right, you time it. So what we do is we have an associate. This is really deep, but we have an associate director who tells us the exact amount of time we need to fill. So say it's 17 minutes and 33 seconds. We then work backwards off of that, figure out how long the tape spots we can put in there, how long the correspondence can be. We put in the wraps that the anchors do, and then we can add promos, which is kind of like our accordion, that if we're a minute light, we can add a minute of promos. And that's how all the Frankenstein's monster gets built.
I was going to say, Frank.
There's a lot of math. Maz and Pete do a lot of math in the control room, back of the envelope.
I took the job thinking there'd be no math because I didn't want to do any math
I actually
in
have
my
a
life.
picture of you from last year or something, writing something on a piece of paper in the control room, and I'm assuming it's usually when you do that, you're doing math.
It's all math.
And it's also very stressful, too, for another reason. You're producing breaking news. So it's that in and of itself is a stressful environment. You need to keep an eye on what's happening, where you're going next, how much time it's going to be. And by the way, whatever the scene is, if it's a fire or whatever the emergency is. So you're doing that. while at the same time thinking, okay, I need to cover this, or what is my scenario going to be for the next hour?
Pete, what was the event? It must have been the election where we were in breaking news mode, and you and I were doing every half hour.
It wasn't even that. Yes,
When
it was
was
the
that?
it was the election.
Oh, right. It was like, okay, so Maz did in the moment.
Maz was producing the show. You and I were fleshing out the next
And it would be
half
like,
hour.
what's next?
Right, you turn around, and it's almost like in a kitchen, like a sous chef, and then the chef, and then bringing it out. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm serving this.
Because you literally can't think about
Right. You just kind of like
ahead of what's in the moment.
Right, what's in the moment, because you have to be in the moment with the anchors, right?
Yeah.
You can't say to the anchors, "Oh, I'm not paying attention. I'm worrying about fixing for the B-net." They'd be like, "Get out of here." Fixing for the B-net.
B-net. Wait, B-net.
Yeah.
B-net.
We have the four time zones are A, B, C, and D, and that's what we call it, the B-net.
And there's a little known Guam feed, which
Well, there's a gentleman named Chip Todd, not Chuck Todd, Chip Todd.
Chip.
When he calls the control room, just always put him through to Maz or Pete.
Yeah, he's in charge of alerting all the
He's on my speed
stations.
down now. Spoke to him twice yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Did you really?
Several times, yeah. We did a special report yesterday.
Yes, all right.
On the space launch.
Yeah.
But he's the guy that because he then has to notify all the stations that this is happening.
Right.
So it's actually kind of crazy and kind of not fun's a strong word, but I kind of like I like the
challenge,
puzzle
right?
of it.
Yeah, I
It's
do
kinda
too.
cool.
It's neat trying to figure out like what can go where.
Yeah, it's not what routine, what you do every day,
No.
so it's fun to mix it up.
I remember one of the craziest was one of the bombings in Paris, or like remember there
The
was
Bataclan?
might have been Bataclan, or there were like a whole bunch of terror attacks in France for
Yeah, they had,
the
like,
course
a
of like
string.
2 or 3
Yeah.
years, and there was one where we had to call another control room, and they had to have Bill Neely, our foreign correspondent, live in the B-net because we couldn't get it in tape on time.
Anchoring it?
He was wrapping his piece, but we weren't using our control room, so we had to have another control room, have him live, and Erica, our AD, was talking to the other control room, telling him what to do while we were on the air doing the other thing.
Oh, I remember that.
It was I don't remember ever doing that, like essentially being live at the same time.
Also, what was the day when you and Lucas tore out of the control room and went and stood up another control room?
Oh, that was because we thought the control.
No, the Jonas's panel broke.
Oh, that was just technical.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
technical.
I was trying to remember that. And Pete's like, I'm out. I'm going to go run the control room. That was your moment.
We did, but then Pete gets over there and there's like there's no one
No, I
there.
couldn't see, like-
there was like it's pitch black.
And you're
There's
yelling
one guy
at no
like,
director.
"Can
I
I
can't
help
see
you?"
anything.
Like, I need stuff on this wall. I need to be able to talk to these anchors. Meanwhile, like everything was fine back in the other control room.
But that was literally like the buttons didn't work. Like that, it was as simple as
I remember that.
the person who does the technical director, who's literally like, take this camera, put this graphic in, like the buttons just stop working on the machine.
I'm gonna jinx it for tomorrow or at some point coming up soon, but I think at least once a day, I can't believe how much has to go right for the show to get on.
Well, given the
And
fact that everyone is at home right now,
and how one thing can go wrong and everything can go up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mitch, you've really kind of
tapped in.
Tapped
Yeah,
into,
you're stressing me out too, Mitch.
Mitch, you've tapped into the zeitgeist.
Can I ask one more quick thing?
Well, I'll
Because
follow
you
up,
mentioned you mentioned the four different time zones, and I know sometimes y'all talk about updating for the West Coast.
Yeah.
But how do you do that when Hoda is on another show?
Ooh, Mitch.
it's another good question. We tape a lot with her in the 9 o'clock hour or in the breaks leading up to it if we have enough time to figure it out. Or sometimes we will just have Savannah do it, or sometimes we'll have Savannah and Craig do it.
Right, just do a brand new half hour.
I believe there's been scenarios too where it's like such a big event.
Hoda will do it live. with
Hoda
us.
will do it live, and we'll figure out something for the West
What's your
Coast.
threshold for going live for the first half hour of the West Coast?
If anything is really out of just editorially wrong,
Yeah,
right? Like
you
if
have to.
you're like, it
Like
doesn't-
Trump used to come out at 9 o'clock.
There was a lot of
all
that.
the time.
There was a lot
Yeah.
of that where you would have like the story was X and then it would become Y immediately.
And it would just make no sense on the
Correct.
West Coast.
There's also a lot of times too. I've done it recently, and I know I've seen Maz do it too, where you're trying to figure out and put the puzzle together. Where okay, well, Savannah can tape this, then we'll have the correspondent go live. We'll have an updated spot, then we'll tape Savannah, and then you kind of talk yourself into realizing, we just need to go live.
Right.
Everything I'm saying is so difficult. Let's just
to some degree, it's easier to just do it live for the West
Yeah,
Coast.
just do it fresh.
But it does your point is a good one, Mitch, which is it's problematic because Hoda has another job.
Yeah.
Hoda's on live on the 10. So sometimes we just have to make the decision.
Hold
we
her.
need to take Hoda away from the 10, and Jenna and Chanel will do it or something. or we'll just do it with Savannah and sort of
For
like
the
weave our
most
way
part,
through.
you do Savannah and Craig if you have to.
Correct.
Right?
We rarely take Hoda around.
Hard to break up Hoda and Jenna.
Yeah, we don't like to do that.
No, we don't.
Mitch, look at you. Good, very good question.
These
You're
are good
clearly a
questions,
journalist.
Mitch.
Clearly a journalist.
Yeah,
Mitch.
those answers give me. I feel much better about the chaos of my one little hour that I do on the radio.
None of it's easy.
Thanks for calling, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for
Sure.
listening
Thank
and
you, guys.
watching too. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that was sort of like
He
a
did
deep
sound like
dive.
Mitch from Georgia. That was a great Southern accent. right there.
From high school sweethearts to show fixes. We
to
covered
DNet.
we covered a lot of ground there.
We really did.
The DNet. When you hear DNet, you're just thinking,
Well,
what are they talking
the
about?
funny thing is, and this is some Today Show confidential action for you, is the poor CNET, which is I would just go like in my head like Denver, right? Like
It's mountain time.
Yeah. So, but I'm always like in my head, it's like Chicago, Denver, LA. Like those are in my
But
head.
you always
those
think
are-
Denver?
I just think Denver for some
Right.
reason. But in the pandemic, we've had a thing where we've like put them up against the DNet. So a lot of
Yeah.
times, like, or up against the BNet. So a
Yeah.
lot of times they're the one time zone that doesn't get
Yeah.
the update. And I'm always like, the poor people in Denver. They didn't do anything
And
wrong.
what pops up for B? Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago in my head, Denver for the CNET,
And
and then LA.
Yeah,
for-
that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, should we take a caller? We don't have a name. Oh, no caller. Okay. All right.
It's anonymous.
Well, we is Man in here? Oh no, it's Holly. Holly is wildly gesticulating with "Take a Break."
There we go.
Today Show Confidential.
Let's do it.
Right after this.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
In a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Joe Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Is back.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Can I just brag on Holly for a second?
Yeah, she's great.
Holly does the best job ever on Today's Show Radio.
Oh my
108
God.
In the morning.
I agree.
Yeah.
She is fun. The talent love her.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, Holly, what's up? They talk to her. They give her something.
Yep.
She's just really good at her job.
Very much so.
And I don't think we tell each other enough. You know, I mean,
That's
we
true.
all know you guys are good at your job, but Holly, you're great at your job.
Holly's really good. Can I say, here's how I know. Because the anchors, she goes to see the anchors somewhere between 6:50 and 7 a.m., which is like crunch time for them. Normally, they might be perturbed by a disturbance in their force at that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Quite the opposite with Holly.
Yes.
They
there
welcome
she
it.
is.
Literally, oh, look at
What
you.
is that? Look at that
hair.
outfit.
Oh, hello
How's
there.
Helen?
Someone brought
Look
their
at
A
those
game.
Look at those boots. Look at that hair. Woo.
You look at you.
Yeah.
I pay them.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
I
Oh, well, that's.
bribe them. I bake for them.
There's also this like weird confidential thing that goes on with them. Not that we're on Today's Show Confidential, but they just open up to you. Al just kind of puts himself at ease and tells you about his night before. They just feel
Yeah. She's part of the family.
it's
She
a,
is.
it's a little bit of a chance for them just to kind of have a friend to talk to.
Yeah. And I will
At
say,
an early hour.
and it was a very long time where you were not here because it's so much better that you're
It's
here.
so much better.
It's like it's game changing.
Can I ask you, do you like, I know you're going to say yes, but is it a game changer, you being back in the studio?
Game
Oh.
changer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to talk about. Nobody wants
Yeah.
to hear me in my living room. Like, it's Thursday. And... Okay, we're back.
Holly does the weather, by the way.
I know, she does it all.
It's so great.
Thank you.
It's like, hello, Sacramento.
I'm always, speaking of Mitch, I actually have like a million questions about her and what you do in terms of filling the time as well,
Follow
too.
me around one day. We'll do it.
I think we're going to do that for one of our shows at one point. I said that we should, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on behind the scenes.
Holly is. Holly is part of the fam, and they
Yep,
all are
100%.
comfortable. And the talent love talking to her. It's a great. If you can't watch the show and you're driving, it's a great experience. SiriusXM. I assume people that listen to the show have that morning experience.
And I will say, I was here for the original meetings when SiriusXM.
You were, yeah.
I was part of the original meetings where the deal was being made between NBC, and they said, okay, but we need to like put somebody in there, and they need to sit there with you, and like we're like this sort of like insular bunch of the Today Show. Like we don't
Particular.
love outsiders, and we're all like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Plus, they have to talk to talent. Oh, we don't want anyone talking to talent, right? And I will say, you and your predecessors did a very good job of just sort of like slowly easing your way in and becoming just part of like the morning routine.
Yeah,
which is all it's about.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Where do you sit with these guys? Not right now.
We used to
Yeah,
talk about
not now.
Pearl Jam every morning.
Yeah.
It was a
She
good
was in
time
the mix every morning.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, yeah. I know where she sat in the old. I'm just wondering with this new arrangement, COVID wise.
No,
and now we're across the
No,
street,
where are you now?
I just float around. I got a laptop. I go wherever I.
You can come hang with us in the morning. We got a lot of space.
You guys are so far away. The 7th floor across the street.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
true.
Yeah,
Love
that's
you, but
not
you're very
pleasant.
far away.
Well, we are currently we're doing a little renovation on
We
the
are, which is super
on the
exciting.
control
Is it
room.
almost done, Matt?
Yeah, I just talked to Jim Gaines, our director.
Okay.
He said he thinks 3 weeks or so.
Oh, exciting.
Oh, good.
But because they said the week before Thanksgiving it should be done.
Yeah.
But he said he thinks that we're maybe on a little bit of a pace, even quicker.
On
That's great.
time. I mean, ahead of time, ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
How's the what does the new newsroom look like?
Newsroom's not being
much-
impacted.
yeah, it's
that's
not
that,
really being
that's what we call
renovated.
2.0. So
Right.
the control room is being redone. Basically, they're like gutting the technology of it, and it's going to be all new, like state of the art technology. But
Yeah.
the space around it, for the most part, isn't really being
Are the
touched.
McCurdy's going to be like there on 71?
Yes, it's gonna
Okay.
be it's going
You
to be.
guys like those, right?
Yeah.
The setup of 71's nice, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's nice to be.
It's not home.
It's not home.
It's
Said that
definitely
today.
not home, and the arrangement, you're just used to where your next turn.
I agree. And I also like the idea. I mean, I don't like being across the street from the anchors in the studio.
Right.
Well, that's a weird thing.
Because you
It's
can
not
pop
great.
up in our normal situation, as you're listening here, we're basically our control room's in the basement below the studio.
Right.
Now we're across the street at 30 Rock while they're doing the renovation.
Right. It was always nice if you had to run up and talk to the talent
Mhm.
or meet a guest.
Meet a guest or
right.
anything. Like
You're
even
part of the mix.
Right.
There's so much going on. It's like a circus.
Yeah. Do you feel disconnected right
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Very
hard.
much so.
Yep.
It just feels like an out of body.
Plus, there's because of COVID regulations, that we can have fewer people in this control room than even the old one. So
Right.
we have like
Oh, yeah,
a
that
couple-
control room, there's
we had
no
two
room.
fewer
No.
people there now. Grace and Lucas, who were part of the team in the morning, have to be in a separate room. So it's just kind of like,
But from
Yeah.
what I understand, the new control room will be a little bit more spread out and bigger too, because some of the technology that was in there,
it's smaller.
They don't have those big boxes that it came in anymore. Jimmy
Oh, that's
Gaines,
good.
our director, was telling me that there's a control room at 30 Rock now where they did all this technology and where they used to have wires everywhere. Like, you know how you look up in the ceiling and there's wires in the ceiling and
Yeah.
the floor? He said they carved out a space in the floor where it all goes now, and it's one plug. So you can like see it through the floor.
Oh, wow.
What used to be and what it is now.
right, we're like iPhoning
That's
NBC
exactly
at
right,
this point.
pretty
yeah.
much.
This new studio looks great, though. We did Reba McEntire in that
Yeah.
monitor this morning. It really looks
Oh, yeah.
slick.
It looks cool.
It really looks nice.
They did a good job on that. And it's funny, you need those every once in a while, right? You just a little bit of a tweak here and there.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? Yeah, 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private banter and beverages.
All right, it just made too.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
I remember we were a little nervous about Knightley moving in, but you don't know.
Nope. No, Lester being there has had no impact on us. I mean, the only time we talked about this when we had the meetings would be if there's a really crazy news day and we had to go to like 1 PM and then they had to quickly turn it around for a special report and then Lester but knock wood, we haven't had that yet.
Yeah, and I think on Knightley you don't really necessarily, you kind of know the studio if you really were looking, but
I think Knightley looks great. They're doing a really good job of using that space and it looks very sharp.
Yes, I think our studio is looking sharper than ever, I would say.
I think Knightley's stealing some of our moves though. When I watch some of the show, I think we do that.
We are like the Jets and the Sharks with Knightley.
Well, we won a Murrow Award last year, humble brag for all of us.
Yeah,
but when I was looking at the submission, gosh, I didn't like our old topic bars.
Oh, the double stacks?
I'm so happy with our new ones.
So am I. It's funny. It took me a little while, but I like them now. The one thing I don't like, and I'll say this to Pete, and he
Today's Show Confidential.
He feels the brunt of it.
Oh.
They're harder to do
because they're shorter.
My gosh,
less
so
words.
Much harder.
They look better though.
Yeah, they do.
No, they do. They look much better.
And it's easier as a viewer. You kind of just know.
But also, we used to do the secret was top bar can be a little snarky. Bottom bar is information.
Yeah. Right. Now you only have one bar.
We only got one bar.
So if you're watching at home, people, we only have one. In the last 6-8 months, we've done the single bar, and I like it too, but it makes it more difficult to figure out how to frame the story because you can't do the snarky one just by itself.
Right, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's much harder. Yeah. But it just, when I look back at our old, I think it looks more modern.
That happens though whenever you look back at a few years ago, you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe we used to do that.
I know. Well,
in the time, you're like, this is great.
Yeah,
it's like everything else.
Nothing against our graphics team. They tried something new, and it was, for a while, it was kind of cool because it was a little more... It was a little less traditional, but we revised it. We try to revamp every couple of years the look.
You know what's funny? We're coming up on the 70th anniversary of the show, which
is nuts.
We've talked about.
We should do something for that.
And we should do maybe a little bit of something. But
get on that.
We also just happened this past year to do. It was the anniversary of the Plaza. The 25th anniversary of the Plaza.
Yeah, when was that?
A couple years ago.
It was last year, right? Or was it right before the pandemic?
It was
pre-pandemic.
Anyway, I just remember thinking that Plaza is essentially timeless. Like even the shots, other than what people are wearing, it's the same corner. Mm-hmm. It's the same blacktop. It's the same buildings around it, which are classic Rockefeller Center. Like every shot you see, for the most part, it's the same.
The exteriors
we did cover the barricades.
We did. They were like bike racks for a long time, and then we have covers. And then also like the stores around them changed.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's this classic Manhattan corner with the classic Rockefeller Center buildings around it.
One thing I'm kind of excited about, which we hope will come to fruition around the holidays if you're in New York, is we're going to try to set up a little NBC store cart.
I saw the cart, too.
On the Plaza.
I saw the email with the cart.
So that people can buy their swag.
Nice.
Because I always think you come to the show, you want to get a water bottle or something.
Right. What about our mascot today?
Hinode. We can pop out the mascot again if you want.
I meant like a plush, little Hinode plush.
Oh, right. You know what? I can't remember why we're not doing that.
No. You know what we should do?
What?
It's 100 days till Beijing. We should bust out Hinode.
We should, actually. Hinode.
Nice. Hinode.
Do you want Japan Hinode or Rockefeller Plaza Hinode? There are two.
It's one. It is one body, two souls.
That sounded bizarre. In other words, it was one costume, two different people were in it, not at the same time.
So funny. Right. But honestly, we'd have to pick. It'd have to be a tough decision.
Yeah.
Which one? So
I liked the Rockefeller Center one better
because it was a little more.
And not better. I'm not choosing who was inside it, but the one in Rockefeller Center was known for it was a little more expressive.
One was a holly and one was a mannin.
Yes.
That's right. Don't make me choose. Don't make me choose.
A little more subdued and a little more wild.
But it is 100 days coming up. We got to dust it off.
What date?
Oh, Libby, I knew you were going to ask that. It's at the end of October.
I will say, Maz, we were on some emails this week. Molly Solomon, who runs NBC Sports Olympics, is in Paris right now.
Looking into 2024.
2024.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nothing has looked better.
Oh, I mean, she's on her Instagram, and I'm looking at the French fries and the Eiffel Tower. And
they just call them fries.
They're actually frites.
Frites?
But okay.
Come on.
we got Johnny International over here.
Yeah. What?
Well, I wouldn't call them French fries. I'd just call them fries.
Do you speak a language?
English.
Okay.
International language of love.
That's right.
Wait, why were we on that? Oh, right. Yeah, 2020.
2024. So we're going to get through Beijing.
Yes.
I mean, honestly,
I'm dreaming of Paris, though.
Beijing is going to be very similar to Tokyo, and it's going to be there will be restrictions, and it's going to be dark, and it's going to there are things about it which we're excited about, but there are also some hurdles involved in it.
Matt, do you think there'll be any producer interest in going to Paris 2024?
I cannot wait.
When will it first start?
I cannot wait. I was actually thinking probably the week we get back from Beijing is we'll start having.
Some smart producer right now would just start learning French.
100%.
Backwards and forwards.
We're going to have Pepe Le Pew walking into our door.
Hello.
Oh, I can cut the sauce.
Joshua Janiak, are you learning French right now?
I can cut the packages for you.
Well, he's definitely wearing a beret. And
no doubt. No doubt. That's
well,
it
is true
because it is like Hunger Games for the producers trying to go.
It is, and we choose.
Olympics.
I mean, sometimes you say, "Wow, that is a leg up if you speak the language."
100%.
Phoebe Weiner spoke Japanese.
Phoebe spoke Japanese, and she was the star of the Olympics.
We should offer the course. What is the Rosetta Stone?
I can't wait to see Hinode with
see who aces it
with a beret, and a
cigarette, and a baguette,
and a glass of wine.
I don't think you guys can transfer the Hinode is a Japanese mascot. I don't know how it works elsewhere.
No, Hinode is a Today Show mascot.
Okay, all right. I don't know if it works.
The fact that we sent Hinode back in business class, I think, is like the greatest thing of all time.
In a box.
In a box.
With Edna, the makeup.
With one of the makeup artists.
Edna, the lovely makeup artist that works with Savannah, volunteered to take Hinode home.
She's like, I got this.
The box was like it was like the
massive.
It was like the thing in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And to further the indignity, we made her film it.
Don't look at it. Don't open it.
We made her film it.
Yeah. I know.
Sorry, and you're going to take home Hinode and you're going to track her progress.
Yeah, and I got good news and I got bad news. Good news, you get to go home. Bad news is you have to bring Hinode and film it.
That was really a moment in time, that mascot.
It was. Oh, the other day I described something as Tokyo hot because I still just remember being.
Was it really bad?
It was brutally
hot. Did you
hot.
sweat a lot or?
When you went outside, we didn't go outside a ton because there was no reason to. But it was brutal. It was like that. New York gets it every once in a while where it's like you feel that concrete kind of heat.
It's too hot to be outside.
Like you feel that it's like emanating off of buildings and ground and everything. It was like that every day.
Yeah. So you say Tokyo hot.
And I was like, oh, it's Tokyo hot.
It's like Hall of Presidents hot.
Was it when the anchors were on the air in Tokyo? Were they on the set? Were they warm? I can't remember.
No, because it was nighttime.
It wasn't hot at night.
No.
Okay.
It was a little humid some nights, but it was like the timing of it was such that it was like dusk and it was like cooling down a little bit. It was never there were days when it was warm, and I think they would probably say that, but it wasn't it's not as bad as it's going to be cold for Beijing if we're back here.
Right, on the plaza.
Right.
Well, do you have any previews of Beijing?
Well, we're excited to be there. Savannah's going to host the opening ceremonies again.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have all of our anchors over there, and then we'll probably come back and have a celebration in the plaza like we did from Tokyo.
Yep.
The difference being it's cold. It's going to be in February.
Right.
So,
it's going to be
but we're building a set. We're going to build a set. We're going to have heaters. We're going to lean into it. We'll have like cool Olympic gear and hats and gloves.
We think Michaela Schifrin is going to be one of the stars.
She'll be one of the stars.
Got to look out for her.
Shaun White's coming back again, they think. So
one thing you can count on, we'll do it right. And today's show will have a cool presence out on that plaza.
I always enjoy the figure skating.
That is the gymnastics of winter sports.
If you were wondering what I enjoyed, it's
I was about to say,
skating.
Libby, what do you enjoy about the Winter Olympics? But you answered my question, so thank you.
What do you enjoy?
I like the what is it where they ski and then they shoot the gun?
Oh, skeet shooting?
No. What's
That's
it
on the
called?
dry.
Something I don't watch.
It's got an awesome name.
Cross country.
No, it's
Something I don't watch.
they cross
That's
country
the
ski.
slug on Peacock.
And then no curling. I like curling too.
Curling's cool.
You do? I mean, would you
That was
actually
great.
sit and watch curling?
You know, who's a huge curling fan? Jared Carullo, our writer.
How are you a fan? I don't understand.
Because sometimes in the old newsroom, the Olympics channel was on, and he would always watch curling. He knew the rules back and forth, and he knew some of the players.
That's awesome.
He did. Well, so by the way, we tried for 100 days. You know, we bring in athletes. We tried to get the curling team in. We couldn't get them in.
Katie Dissler?
Yeah. No, they're just Katie Dissler gets everybody in.
I know.
They were in there's like a tournament or
Biathlon.
something.
Thank you.
Biathlon. There you go. There's like a tournament, and we couldn't get them in.
So no one can come.
No,
for
we'll
100
have
days.
people for 100 days. We wanted the curling because we were going to do a
curling,
curling
sorry.
thing on the plaza.
That's cool.
But alas, no.
That would have
curling
been
team.
fun.
It would
to
have been
do
really cool.
Curling.
Alas.
So we have a rebranded segment coming up, guys, and to hear it,
it's off platform too.
Yet on platform.
Stick around because you're going to want to hear this new segment.
Ooh, good tease.
Yes.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
In a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Libby's having an episode.
Oh man, there's something going on over there, Libby. All right?
Yeah. It is interesting though that is because the other one just texts.
We're on the air right
Oh,
now.
hi.
Elif.
Hi.
Did you really not know that?
No, I didn't. Because I lost my headphones.
We are literally on the air.
You both were staring at me. So what happened was, did I say anything?
No,
you're good.
You
You're
just
good.
said the other one text. I don't even know who you're talking
Yeah.
about, to be honest.
It's a little
And if
bit
I
Let me
don't
just
know,
set the scene. Pete made me laugh, so my headphones fell off,
Yeah.
and then I didn't hear the back. So then I put my headphones back on, and it was
you
silent.
couldn't even started like mid-sentence. And Pete and I didn't know what you were talking about. You're like, and then the other one texts. We're like, what?
You're going to know when I tell you later.
All right, fine.
Hey, everybody. This is Libby.
That's funny.
Listen, at the end of the week, you get a little loopy.
A little loopy. And this is peak end of week. Even
Well,
though it's
peak
not
end of
Friday. Even though it's not Friday for us, Thursday afternoon is when it's just like right at the tippy top of the curve.
We know when Today's Show Confidential is on.
I'm
that
really
it's
happy I
almost-
didn't say anything on
Yeah, you
the
did
air
fine.
that
You
wasn't
did
supposed
fine.
to be there.
That was awesome. I'm like, you know we're on the air. You're like, oh, nope.
I had no
Amazing.
Well, I guess we're playing a new game.
I think we have a new game.
do
Are
it.
you
Check it out,
ready?
everybody.
And now it's time for Was That Today? Here's your host, Pete Breen.
Wow.
So good.
I actually like it better. I like
So
the name
good.
better.
The name is a good one.
Can I
Molly
just
came up
say,
with the name.
do you have this?
No.
Wait.
Okay.
You have the answers?
I didn't look. I didn't know what it was. I have not looked at it. I swear to God. I just
have
happened
Call
to
Us
see
Live.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I didn't look
my
at it. I
gosh.
swear to God.
Rookie mistake. What is
by
this,
the way,
amateur hour?
I get full credit for not looking at it.
Here's the thing. If there's any way to go Maz's, it's going to be tainted.
Yeah, it's true. I know.
Anyway, this section of the show used to be called something else, but now it's Was That Today? America's favorite game show about America's favorite morning show. Maz, Libby, let's find out how closely you were paying attention this week.
Not at all.
Question number one. We found out our own today as Al Roker won the 2021 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. In what year did Al officially join the Today Show
86?
as weatherman?
89, 88.
Officially, 1996.
Why did I say 86?
No, he started at NBC.
yes.
Yep,
That's what I was.
thinking.
That's what I thought the question was.
Okay.
Clearly, I didn't read the answers because I got that one wrong.
Right. Okay, we both did.
Brothers and child stars Clint and Ron Howard stopped by Studio 1A to talk about their new memoir centered around family and childhood. One of Ron's most popular roles was Richie Cunningham in the sitcom Happy Days. What film was Happy Days based on?
American Graffiti.
There you go.
Ooh,
there you go.
Maz. Good one.
Great answer, Maz.
Dylan Dreyer took a little break from maternity leave this week to tell us about how daydreaming led to her first children's book, Misty the Cloud. What did she say her parents told her thunderstorms were?
Oh.
Bowling.
Angels
Ooh,
Bowling.
that's a good one.
Angels Bowling.
Great answer, Maz.
Yep.
What food does National Geographic explorer Dan Buettner say is the cornerstone of
Beans.
every beans?
Oh.
Because the only reason I said it that way is because Cynthia McFadden in Peace goes,
Beans! And everyone on set went, beans?
Right.
And then they all afterwards were like,
Beans?
don't
Who
eat anything you forage for.
Yeah, the last thing I need is to go
Maz
get
is crushing it here.
wild mushrooms.
Martha Stewart was on the show promoting her 99th book, Martha Stewart's Fruit Desserts. When did Martha's first book come out? 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
Ding, ding.
Way to go, Libby.
By the way, Martha is on
1982.
her 99th book is
yeah.
the most incredible thing
99
ever.
book. William
Legend.
Shatner joined the show to talk about making history yesterday when he and 3 others were launched into space on a rocket. How many parachutes were deployed to drift the actor and his crew back to Earth?
3.
You are
Great,
correct.
Maz.
I think
I was just visually looking at
you threw us off with that first question. I think you did read these.
Yeah.
answers.
I know. I'm wondering.
Country music icon Reba McEntire told us about her new box set, Revived, Remixed, Revisited on the show. What slammin' Reba song did she say is on all 3 albums?
I have no idea.
Not a clue.
Fancy. Fancy. It's
Fancy.
not just
That's
Iggy
a good one,
Azalea.
man.
By Iggy Azalea?
And that's it. And
okay.
I think that's
I
all we
love
got
our
time
new
for today.
game.
Yeah, new game is good.
We like
good job,
the game.
everybody. Good job.
Always doing good job as a host. Libby?
Thanks, buddy.
I got creamed.
No, because you got thrown out. You're off your game because you almost gave away your career there on the as we
It was
came
close.
back.
It was close.
The other one always texts.
What does it mean?
There you
Some
go.
things are too confidential,
The other one.
even for today's show.
On that note, have a good one, everybody.
Well, hello, everybody, and thanks for watching Today All Day. We're so glad that you're spending part of your Monday with us right here on Popstar Plus. As always, we have the latest entertainment news and interviews on all the trending topics that you definitely need to know about. And you know who's always a good time? Andy Cohen. He stopped by with some pretty big news about the future of the Real Housewives franchise, and it is never too soon to get in the holiday spirit. Tamara Mowry-Housley talks to us about her new Hallmark Christmas movie. But first, Popstar. First up, Halloween. Let's take a look at some of the best costumes from this weekend's big celebrations. Leading the way, singer Ciara stepped into the iconic purple bell-bottoms of music superstar Selena. Ciara even made a music video where she's rocking out a short performance to the late singer's hit, Bitty Bitty Bon Bon. Great job there from Ciara. Let's go on the extra length with the video. Next pop star and our coach at The Voice, Ariana Grande, the queen of Halloween. Boy, she loves Halloween. It's her favorite holiday, more than Christmas, more than anything. So she cast herself in Miss Creature from the Black Lagoon. Ariana sharing a series of swampy photos in full green and Gil's guest. That's her husband also in it. We'll show you that, Dalton Gomez. He's the handsome scuba man.
Okay.
Wow. That's some serious. Speaking of green, did you catch Lizzo as our favorite little Grammy winner strutted down the streets of LA as little Grogu from The Mandalorian?
Oh, cute.
Nice.
Lizzo, shout out, well done. After our big football fright here on the Today Show, how did all of us go home and celebrate? Savannah, let's start start with you.
I just stayed in that costume all weekend.
No.
I'm just kidding.
There you are.
Yeah, I had a little ghost and a little cat. We just walked around and trick-or-treated.
Oh, how
Cute. So fun.
It was fun.
Hoda, what did you guys end up doing?
We had 2 unicorns. I was the sun, Joel was the moon, and we were in a town where everybody was in the parade. No one watched the parade.
nice.
The whole town walked down Main Street.
That's the perfect costume for you. You are the sun.
And by the way, we were with Dylan, too.
Yeah, I saw that
and
photo.
little Rusty,
Oh, I know
baby
you
shark.
were. What about the Melvin family?
Butterflies. Oh, what am I talking about? We were spiders. Years ago.
Okay.
Spiders. And then Del
Nice
Cheese,
work,
she
Dad.
was a ghost.
Uncle Al?
It's all a blur.
We did nothing.
Do you remember what you were?
We just Nick handed out candy.
But how
and
much candy did you get?
How many full-size bars?
We went through 700 candy bars.
Wow.
And
Full size.
And
Full size.
3 bags of the emergency fun size.
Wow.
How about the dailies?
We went as Siri and I were Rip and Beth from the show Yellowstone.
Hot.
A tumultuous couple.
Yeah.
So we did that, and the kids were various things. There's London and Etta as Harley Quinn and Wednesday
Adams.
I didn't see yours.
Yeah.
We
And
gotta
then
see Siri and Carson. They look so
Please.
good.
All
It was
right.
good.
No.
It was good.
Well, go to Instagram.
There they are.
There it is.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I bought a pack of Marlboro Lights for the first time in like 15 years.
Wow.
It was so weird. Just for Siri to
you
have the
smoke
prop.
it?
No, we don't
Okay.
smoke it. And that's just for starters. Let's continue with a little bit more. 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony took place in Cleveland on Saturday night. The ceremony featured big performances from Taylor Swift and Jennifer Hudson, as well as a number of surprise guests, including Eminem and Jennifer Lopez, who all joined to help bring in the new class of inductees. Among the honorees, Jay-Z, Carole King, and the Go-Go's. Also, Sir Paul McCartney not only inducted the Foo Fighters, but pulled double duty, joining them on stage for a performance of the Beatles' classic Get Back. Pretty cool moment there for Dave Grohl, and congrats to all of the new class of Hall of Famers. Next up, former President Barack Obama. He recently sat down with buddy Bruce Springsteen on the Graham Norton Show to talk about their new book, Renegades, Born in the USA. Obama revealing the one musician to ever turn down the chance to perform at the White House during his presidency before he was eventually able to convince them to change their mind.
One of the most remarkable performances we had at a party in the White House. He did technically turn us down the first time, and that was Prince.
Wow.
In fact, in the book, I think there's a picture of me dancing with Sasha on stage.
Pretty cool picture there. That turned out to be one of Prince's final performances, definitely one for the record books. Now to Hocus Pocus 2. A sequel is in the works for the classic teen Halloween movie. Stars from the original film, Sarah Jessica Parker, Bette Midler, and Kathy Najimy, are set to return for the reboot. And in honor of yesterday's holiday, Disney announcing the lineup of new actors who will be joining the Sanderson sisters on screen next year. Veep co-stars Tony Hale and Sam Richardson are set to join the cast, along with Ted Lasso's Hannah Waddingham. Hocus Pocus 2, scheduled to start streaming in the fall of 2022. And we'll wrap things up with one of our favorite people here at the show, Kristin Chenoweth. She's the best. The actress and singer is about to go from Miss to Mrs. Why? Because over the weekend she said yes to boyfriend Josh Bryan, who popped the question right across the street from our studio over at Rockefeller Center's beautiful Rainbow Room. On Wednesday, the pair began dating back in 2018. Kristin sharing on Instagram, "Guess you're stuck with me now. I love you and I'm never letting you go." We're sending a big congratulations out to Kristin and Josh. Those are your headlines for today. Coming up, our friend Andy Cohen on his inspiring new project. Stay tuned for that.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun.
bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Pop Start Plus. You know, our pal Andy Cohen stopped by 1A this morning. The Watch What Happens Live host and Real Housewives creator is out with a new book full of inspirational quotes from women. Take a look.
Always glitter when the one, the only Andy Cohen pays us a visit. He's not only an Emmy-winning host and producer, but he is an author too, as you know.
In fact, Andy's new book is about to hit the shelves. It's called Glitter Every Day, 365 quotes from women I love. Andy, welcome back.
Stole the idea right from Hoda.
Okay, I wondered if you did.
Hoda. It was a jumping off point.
This is what I love about Andy. Andy calls me and goes, I got to ask you something. He calls me and I was like nervous. I don't know what I was thinking. He goes, look, I'm going to do a quote book. But I want your blessing. I promise you I won't do it without your blessing.
Yes.
I thought that was the sweetest.
It was very nice.
Because you had two very wonderful, very Hodesy quote books. Mine is a little more, it's called Glitter Every Day. And the idea is that you have a little sprinkle of glitter every morning to start your day. From Malala to Madonna to Countess Luann.
Yeah.
It's everyone in my oeuvre.
It's almost like a joke book.
By the way, I can't stop reading them. I was in my dressing room laughing, and so much so that someone walks in and goes, "Why are you giggling?" So this is it. This is a quote. Kim, would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail. That's from Kris Jenner.
Yes, and there's a lesson in that. If your sister's going to jail, put the phone down.
Wait. Here's one from your mom, Evelyn Cohen. I probably would have hated your wife anyway.
That was the line she said to me after I came out of the closet.
Yeah.
And you know what? It just leveled me out.
It's true. So you quote Hoda. And you quote me, which I assume you were just like checking the box so you could come on this show.
No, that's not true.
Because otherwise, I would have been like, why aren't we in the
I'm going
book?
on a few shows in which the people are not quoted. So we'll see how that goes.
What was Hoda's quote?
Hoda has a few. One of them is right on time.
Yes. Everything is right on time.
Yes.
That was for the babes and all that.
Yes, and she told me that.
Okay, this book is great. It's got everybody. Did everybody jump in?
Perfect Christmas gift.
Yes.
Everybody jumped in. What do you mean? Did everybody did you call them up and say?
You just?
I didn't know.
It's a tribute. No, it's a tribute.
I think it's really cool.
Yes,
it's super fun and adorable.
Yeah.
Now, listen, can we talk about something that I know you're very opinionated about?
Yes.
Did you watch Halloween?
I did. Okay, here's the deal.
You always
Well,
speak the
we're
truth.
surviving the massacre of Peanuts of 2015, and we're still getting over that. That shall not be named.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Emmys all around for your hair team.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, unbelievable. And you and Jenna in the cowboy gear.
That was
amazing. Loved your Carrie underwear. It had to be Carrie Underwood. Sorry, had to be. I called her Carrie Underwear. She's in the book, I think. Also, had to have the WhatsApp thing explained to me. I was like, why are they doing this?
Do you not know about WhatsApp?
I do. It was a little bit of a chestnut from the past. It's not top of mind.
It's an iconic Super Bowl commercial.
Understood, and it was explained.
Have you heard of Where's the Beef?
Yes, and you guys were covering the Budweiser logo the whole time. It was awkward. Yes, of course.
We didn't know that.
Well, you needed to.
So wait.
Yes, I enjoyed it, and you
good.
did great. And again, hair and makeup. Today's
10
show.
plus.
Brilliant.
I love it. Remember I was Snoopy. I was the worst Snoopy
Sweetie,
ever.
none of us. What about Carson's Linus?
No, Carson's Linus is one of the most terrifying things I've ever beheld.
Haunting.
Wait, we have to talk about you and little Ben trick-or-treating yesterday.
We had a great time trick-or-treating, and he has not asked for the CANDY.
I know.
Which is amazing.
Ben, are you
so I'm
watching?
acting like it didn't happen.
Ben, don't forget the
No,
candy.
he's not watching.
You got the basket and that was it?
That was it.
Oh, we're out of time, but you just say what you're going to say about the Housewives?
Oh, very big.
Get your passports. Our 11th city. We are going to the Billionaires Playground, the City of Gold, the Desert Oasis, the Real Housewives of Dubai.
Wow.
It's our first international city produced by Bravo. This is major. You two don't get it. It's huge.
My sister used to live in Dubai. She just moved back.
She could have been a Real Housewife.
We have a great group of friends. This is going to blow the lid off the entire franchise.
Love it. Okay,
Yes.
of course it is. Andy,
Thank
we
you.
love you. Come back on the 4th hour.
I'm coming.
We got to talk about glitter every day. It's out tomorrow. You can pre-order it at today.
What a Christmas gift.
/shop.
Oh, you gotta love when Andy's here. Next up on Popstar Plus, we are spreading a little holiday cheer with the star of a new Hallmark Christmas movie. Don't miss that next.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? Yeah, 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the banter deliberations.
All right, it just me too.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Welcome back to Popstar Plus. We're still devouring all of our Halloween candy, but we're also, well, we're starting to think about Christmas around here. And Tamara Mowry-Housley might be best known for starring in the 1990s sitcom Sister Sister. These days, she's producing and starring in the movie The Christmas Stakeout.
My favorite scene would be the slow motion elf walk. We were in our elf costumes walking into the party. That was hilarious. I was like, if you're gonna have me walk, I know this is Hallmark, but can I walk? Can I like walk like Beyonce walk?
Remind me again what your job was back in Wisconsin. Was it chief hall monitor?
Just a humble beat cop who's now a detective,
A rookie detective.
as you keep reminding me.
Tanya, I would say she's not insecure. She didn't like living in the shadows of her dad. And she knows that she has this passion and this talent to be, a detective. She just needed to just go for it. She's feisty. I will tell you, she was Ryan's match because you could see Ryan just thought he was all of that. And she was like, oh, really? Well, let me give you a little something.
We should lay down some ground rules.
Oh, gee. Imagine. You've got rules.
I like that just as serious as she is being a detective, she actually can be a very fun and jovial person, which is why she loves Christmas so much.
Santa's sleigh doesn't come with as much baggage as you do.
It's just the essentials.
This will be my third film that I produced for Hallmark. And the coolest thing about being a producer is that you are a part of every aspect of the film. And I have fallen in love with producing. I just love kind of learning the story and seeing, it develop, casting your cast. And Paul was amazing. A lot of people were talking about our chemistry that made me feel really good because, you want the audience to fall in love with the characters. And when you have that chemistry, it just helps that process.
Have fun.
Oh, no. No, you're going to detective. From now on, your partner's on this case.
This was a fun little twist for Hallmark. I was willing to take that risk. They really don't do comedies. They always pull on the heartstrings,
Captain, you might want to check out these from the security cameras. It's the same Santa from all 3 crime scenes.
It had that detective vibe, so it wasn't as whimsical as, my last one that I did, but the magic didn't come from the story. The magic came from the characters and their personalities and their, their chemistry.
You're lining them up like guard dogs.
Yeah, because they're guarding the house. This guy's called Spike.
We got along so well that he got me in trouble in the sense that he is so naturally funny. I would just laugh. And we would have, so there's this line, when you walk.
Every time you walk,
you sound
it's like a herd of buffalo
walking by. Or something, a herd of buffalo walking by. He would laugh so hard every time I would say that. And I'm like, Paul, you laugh, I laugh, stop. This is supposed to be a serious moment. He was like, okay. I'm gonna think of something really sad. I'm thinking about it. Like, every time you walk, and then boom, he'll start laughing again. Until the director's like, okay, y'all, I need you guys to be professional right now.
Oh, what can I say? We finish each other's
sentences.
It is an actor's dream because it's not boring. You get to explore different avenues, and it makes it fun for comedy because deep down inside you're like, get this, especially when he's like hugging me and like happy wife, happy life, and inside Tanya's like, if you don't get your hands off of me. But Tasha's like, it was so much fun. You had that conflict again.
Would you like to come over to make some gingerbread?
What do you mean?
If it's detective, figure it out.
They just really get you into the Christmas spirit. This is the first time it's ever happened that I actually got into the Christmas spirit before Halloween. I remember when they told me when it was going to air, I was like, oh, what? But it's not even Halloween yet. But that's the way Hallmark does it. So now, no shade against Halloween, no shade against Thanksgiving, because I love both of them. I'm just in the mood for some jolliness. After, it's the music, the movies are visually just stunning. Like the cinematography, it's just so pretty, with all the green, the Christmas lights. Hallmark definitely really knows how to do it up that way. And it just makes you all warm and fuzzy.
We should mention the Christmas Stakeout airs on the Hallmark Channel. Up next on Popstar Plus, we've got a conversation with Broadway legend Kristin Chenoweth you're not going to want to miss. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, and
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
And welcome back to Popstar Plus. Kristin Chenoweth shared some happy news on Friday. She's engaged to her musician boyfriend, Josh Bryan. We're so happy for her and thought that we'd revisit a conversation that she had with Hoda over the summer for her Quoted By series. Chenoweth is a ray of sunshine everywhere she goes, but it hasn't always been easy behind the scenes. Take a look.
People want to be where you are in their careers, and they wonder, like, is this Charmed? Yeah. Do things just work for her, or has it been a series of bumps?
Oh, it's been a series of bumps, as you know, in this industry, and an industry that we both love. Mm-hmm. But it's not rainbows and unicorns all the time.
Okay, raise your hand if you love Kristin Chenoweth. Me! It's my Quoted By series, and I'm so curious because I feel like you're driven by all things that are goodness, Kristin. And I just wondered, is there a quote of yours that is kind of your North Star?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's changed over the years, but I've stared at it for a year and a half as I have it in a little frame. Mm-hmm. And it's by Elizabeth Edwards, the former wife of John Edwards, the senator, oddly enough. Okay. But this is what she says. She stood in the storm, and when the wind did not blow her way, she adjusted her sails. And I thought, that's what we have to do in life. Mm-hmm. And of all women to say that, of course, she went through a lot of stuff, I think. But even in the good times, you still got to adjust your sails.
Because sometimes you feel like it may end up hitting a dead end for you if you don't do that. Yeah. So has that been how you feel like? Because people want to be where you are in their careers, and they wonder, like, is this Charmed? Yeah. Do things just work for her, or has it been a series of bumps? Oh, it's been a series of bumps, as you know, in this industry, and an industry that we both love. Mm-hmm. But it's not rainbows and unicorns all the time. Mm-hmm. I have had to sing during funerals, births, deaths. You know, Dolly Parton talks a lot about in her music about, she has a song called Sacrifice, about the sacrifices we make. You know, usually people say, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm like, well, that's the main time I work. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a chosen thing. I love it. Mm-hmm. But the audience doesn't need to know that my uncle just died, or so-and-so is sick, or whatever. They want to see a show. And you adjust your sails. I don't know why that, I do know why. It just stuck with me every day for a year and a half. That has been staring at me in the face, that quote. By the way, brilliant. I think that'll turn out to be a lot of people's North Star. Thank you, Kristin. Thank you.
Check out this next conversation on Popstar Plus.
I think people get caught up in, it's not happening fast enough, or I'm not getting where I need to be. It's just as long as you're on your horse, however unsteadily, if you're going somewhere, then you're doing something.
This is one of my favorite things to do, to find out what my favorite people, what their favorite quote is. John Stamos is with us on Quoted By. And John, do you have a quote that's kind of your North Star?
Well, I love this Thomas Wolfe quote. Do you have it on there?
I have it. What was important, perhaps, was not that the beggar was drunk and reeling, but that he was mounted on his horse and, however unsteadily, was going somewhere. Why does that speak to you?
Well, I mean, I think, look, just the idea of going forward is so important, and growing and moving forward. I think people get caught up in, it's not happening fast enough, or I'm not getting where I need to be. It's just as long as you're on your horse, however unsteadily, if you're going somewhere, then you're doing something, right?
Yes, and how long did it take you to come to that realization? Because, I mean, I bet you when you were younger, you were always, like, wondering what's taking so long.
I still do it at times, and you just gotta go, look, it's about the journey, but at least I'm moving forward. If it's an inch today, that's great. If it's a mile today, that's also great. But it's sort of, I just have this image of this beggar who's like just, drunk and reeling, but he's on his horse and he's mounted and he's going somewhere versus just sitting around and not doing anything because of fear. A lot of people are so afraid to move forward because, the reasons we just said, like they can't get there fast enough, or it's not working, or it's not moving. Get on your horse, people.
All right, that's a beautiful Thomas Wolfe quote. All right, John, thank you so much.
It's really about giving with no expectation in return. It's about continuing to be love in the face of adversity, continuing to love those who may not love us back, continuing to give and give and give to the best of our ability, without necessarily needing to be recognized for that.
Okay, so if you want to feel good, you just have to listen to a Jason Mraz song. I mean, just pick one. Just run your finger down the list and pick one, and you're going to be in a good mood. Jason has beautiful songs, beautiful lyrics. So, of course, I was curious about what Jason's favorite quote was. So, Jason, welcome. So, you're on Quoted By. So, of all the quotes out there in the world, which one speaks to you?
Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." And look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. I love that. Why does that speak to you? What is it about that poem?
It's really about giving with no expectation in return. It's about continuing to be love in the face of adversity, continuing to love those who may not love us back, continuing to give and give and give to the best of our ability, without necessarily needing to be recognized for that. Just continue to shine your light and help light up this world.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the humility too, because whenever I learn about a friend or somebody who gave someone something and you learned about it secondhand or third hand, you just realize, and it makes you want to do the same. I mean, it makes you want to be that kind of a giver too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jason, thank you for sharing that quote. It's a good one.
Thanks.
Well, leave it up to our Hoda. She always gets the best out of people. And there you have it. That is our Pop Start Plus for today. Please join us same time, same place tomorrow, when we're going to be hearing more from Hoda and her Quoted By series, this time with Demi Lovato and Leah Remini. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to Today All Day.
All day?
Today, all day.
All day.
This is a long way of asking who's your favorite character you've ever played? A unicorn. The unicorn. You gotta have the unicorn.
What is she right there? That's why you're saying all these nice things?
Yeah, she gave me the look. Sorry to disturb your day. Everyone's mad at you, Willie.
Better make this fast. I don't want the wrath of Luna.
When I see you, I always think, I wonder what his quote would be.
Give us 6 minutes and we'll ask as many questions as we can.
Welcome to Cold Cuts. Cold Cut. Cold Cut.
My buddy Cal cooking with me.
Dads don't babysit. It's called parenting.
What was the first book you remember loving? Heart Smart Today with simple exercises to strengthen your heart. Make the most of your beach days.
It's all about the tracksuit now. How good do they look?
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the bride.
This morning, a story of people helping people.
You've received tons of letters from people who have been inspired.
Let's do the weather out. Okay. All you gotta do is say, it's cold, it's warm, it's raining, it's snowing. That's it.
One of our most favorite franchises ever, Ambush Makeovers.
Okay.
Look at it. It doesn't look so good.
No, it doesn't look good.
Will you judge us in a cook-off?
I will, and you guys will definitely win something.
Today, all day.
All day?
All day.
Welcome to Today All Day.
Hello, wherever you are. You're watching Today All Day. Hope you had a good weekend. It's the first day of November. Still recovering from Halloween. Our Super Bowl-sized costume reveal. That was so good. It was fun.
It was fun. All right, you can say that again. It's another big Monday morning here at Today in 30. So here's what's coming your way. We're going to start with the battle over the COVID vaccine mandates. It's intensifying, led by tens of thousands of unvaccinated workers here in New York. They were told to stay home until they get that shot. We're going to bring you a full report.
Yeah, and then we have an exclusive interview with Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's famously private aide and confidant. Well, she has opened up about the trials and triumphs she's faced in Washington and in life, including, of course, her marriage to disgraced Congressman Anthony Weiner. You want to be there for this conversation.
Indeed. Plus, our friend Mr. Roker, he's been busy in the kitchen and cooking up a storm for his latest podcast. His very first episode is with the one and only Ina Garten. And just ahead, he'll give you guys a taste of what to expect.
Finally, it's Monday, so our fourth hour is giving you a master class. Joy Bauer with wine-inspired desserts that only use 3 ingredients. Is wine one of them?
Yes, wine is one of them. And the 2 best things, wine and dessert.
I love it.
Can't beat it. All right.
Let's get it started.
It's time for
Today in 30.
The battle is intensifying over COVID vaccine mandates. This morning, New York City's in the spotlight with thousands of city workers set to be docked pay starting today for failing to comply. NBC's Stephanie Goss joins us now with the very latest. Hey, Steph, good morning.
Hey, Hoda, good morning. The heads of the union were out here early this morning outside this firehouse because they say they have concerns about response time. There are thousands of FDNY personnel who remain unvaccinated, but it's not just the fire department, it's the police, it's sanitation. Today, the clock runs out. Any city worker who is unvaccinated cannot come to work and won't get paid. This morning, the deadline is here for New York City's workforce. Starting today, firefighters, police officers, sanitation workers, and other city employees will be put on unpaid leave and could even lose their jobs if still unvaccinated. More than 22,000 government workers failed to comply with de Blasio's COVID vaccine mandate as of Sunday night. Firefighters in particular are still lagging behind, with the FDNY reporting a vaccination rate of just 75%. This morning, the firefighters union, which is against the mandate, defending its members.
All we were asking for is some extra time. We wanted to get some time so that they can file their religious and medical exemptions as well as make their retirement decisions and get their vaccination if they so choose.
Department leaders denying reports that some firehouses were closed this weekend due to staffing issues after 2,000 firefighters called out sick. But in a blunt statement, the FDNY commissioner says some members are purposely staying home, calling it irresponsible, bogus sick leave, creating a danger for New Yorkers and their fellow firefighters. Union leaders insist there is no coordinated sick out. While nationwide, millions of new COVID vaccine doses could be on the move in just 48 hours if the CDC signs off on Pfizer's pediatric vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. Doctors recommend signing your child up as soon as possible.
If we can decrease the number of kids that are getting sick, we can make a huge dent in the pandemic.
Health experts hoping to change the minds of a majority of parents of 5 to 11-year-olds who say they're uneasy. Some pointing to very rare cases of myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart muscle. Pfizer's pediatric trials found no evidence of myocarditis or other serious adverse reactions. But Moderna revealing the FDA has notified the company that it will need additional time to assess whether its vaccine causes heart problems in adolescents, citing recent international analyses of the risk of myocarditis after vaccination.
All right, Steph, let's go back to that mandate in New York. We just heard, as you said, from the firefighters union. They're saying they want more time. So what are the other things they're asking for?
Well, they're also questioning, Hoda, the urgency of doing this now. They say the numbers are low, that their infection rate within the department is extremely low, and they're questioning why jeopardize response times to push this thing forward right now. They are also pushing for testing. They want widespread testing, that might be the best way to figure out where the virus is within the department and the best way to protect the people in New York City. Hoda?
All right, we'll see how this plays out. Stephanie Gosk for us. Steph, thank you.
Stick around because there is much more coming up on Today in 30.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. For the last decade, Huma Abedin has been defined in the public eye by those closest to her. Her work as a longtime aide to Hillary Clinton and her marriage to disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner put her in a harsh spotlight at times. And through it all, she has stayed mostly silent until now. Huma is out with a new memoir. It's called Both and: A Life in Many Worlds. Huma Abedin joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, Savannah.
I've known you for years. Usually you're standing somewhere off stage while a candidate, the principal is here. This is the first time you've ever done a live interview.
That's exactly right.
And how do you feel?
Well, I generally tend to like being in the background, but I'm feeling great. I'm really excited to be here today.
I wanted to ask you about this because you've had a fascinating life. There's no question. An international childhood. You've been at the heights of power, but you're writing a memoir and you have to go there on everything. And it reopens the public gaze on some really painful chapters. Why did you want to do that?
Well, first of all, the book was amazing therapy for me. And I have spent 25 years of my life in public, and I've always been the invisible person, the silent person behind the primary person. And I've liked it that way. I preferred being in the background, being in service of the mission. But while I was silent, somebody else was telling my story. And I decided that if I allowed that to happen, somebody else is writing my history. And so for me, it's an opportunity to talk about this incredible, privileged, extraordinary life I had, the highs, the challenges, and maybe out there there are some women it might help, or some young brown girls or Muslim women. I think I have some lessons and some life experiences I'm proud to share.
Well, we can't possibly capture it all, but I have to ask you about Anthony, your husband, Anthony Weiner. You talk about meeting him. You were in your 20s. He was your first serious boyfriend, your first Valentine date, your first everything. Why did you fall for him? And were there warning signs even then?
I think from the minute I met Anthony, and I write extensively about our, meeting and our relationship. I mean, he was a force of nature. He was charismatic. He was smart. I think one of the things that really attracted me to Anthony at the beginning was our joint commitment to public service and trying to do the next right good thing. And in hindsight is 20/20. I think a lot of people look at our relationship from a 2021 perspective, but in the moment, it was this all-consuming, captivating love affair, as you said. He was my first love. He was the first man, as I write in the book, I'd ever been with. So we've been through a lot together.
Well, the book chronicles in deeply painful detail what appeared to be a cycle of betrayal, public revelation and humiliation, lies, and repeat that you went through. And I know there are people who would say, Savannah, you have to ask her, why did you stay so long? Why did you put up with that?
Well, as I said, a lot of people look at our relationship from a 2021 perspective. In that moment, in 2011, number one, I was in shock. Just to remind people, the first time the scandal broke, I was carrying his child. I wasn't even 12 weeks pregnant. My baby became my primary focus. I was deeply in love with this man. I didn't understand the behavior or what was happening. And every sort of decision I made was a decision for that moment. For periods of time, I was just trying to get through that day.
Do you think you were in denial a little bit?
I don't think I was in denial. I think I did not understand that my husband had a compulsion, as was later revealed, an addiction that was increasingly getting worse over time. It's not that we weren't in therapy. It just wasn't, you have to be committed. And we tried, but we just didn't understand. It's why I write about it in such detail in the book.
He ran for mayor. He tried to mount a political comeback after the first revelation. You supported that move. You defended him.
Yes.
And in the middle of that campaign, yet new revelations came out. So essentially, while he's running for mayor, he's lying. You don't know it, but he does. Do you regret standing by him?
I don't regret standing by him. And as I say in the book, I have an entire chapter explaining the why. I know there's been a lot of speculation of what is wrong with her and what is she thinking in that time. But I decided it was the right thing to do because I had encouraged him to run for mayor. I did think that he was a good public servant, and I thought this was the way back for him. You know, as I write very detailed, I was in shock. I went through a period of time saying, I want my life back. And we didn't just have any life. We had this most perfect life. I thought we had this amazing love affair. And so, no, for me, I felt I owed it to people to stand at that podium because I had supported his decision to run.
The final straw for you was a revelation, yet another one in 2016, a picture of him, indecent, next to your sleeping toddler son. And that was the last straw for you. Did you worry that your child could be taken away from you? You write that CPS, Child Protective Services, investigated your family.
It was, yes. It was any mother, if you asked her what she would do if she thinks somebody would take your child, I think the answer would be what I wrote in the book, which is I would stand at that door and not allow it to happen. It was a harrowing experience, but I chose to write about it in great detail in the book.
All this time, this is all happening. It'd be enough for any one person. You're also at the heights of political power. There's a presidential campaign going on. You were a senior advisor to Hillary Clinton. And the irony is not lost on anyone that Hillary Clinton herself had been through public scandal, had to deal with an infidelity. Did she give you advice then? Did she say, Huma, leave him? Or did she, what was her thought then?
I have had the privilege of working for her for 25 years. And I would say, and I think anybody who works for Hillary would say this, is whenever I've had any personal challenges, or really any challenges, she has approached the conversation with me as a friend first and a boss second. And she showed every time that I am here for you, I support you, whatever your decision is. We are all here for you.
Things got very complicated when late in the campaign in 2016, some emails between you and Hillary Clinton were discovered on Anthony Weiner's laptop. They had been forwarded, the investigation found, so that he could print them out for you. But in any event, James Comey reopened the email investigation 11 days before Election Day. And you heard Hillary Clinton say she felt that contributed and was the determining factor, in her words, to her loss. You've said in the book that you will carry that to your grave. You feel guilty about it?
I lived with a tremendous amount of guilt. From the moment this unprecedented announcement, 10 days before the election, breaking the norm of any previous FBI director, it was a shock to my system. And then 2 days earlier, and the thing that really got to me about that experience is the year before, when I had heard that the FBI was starting this investigation, I had not heard from anybody about any information, and I had volunteered. I had reached out to say, can I be helpful? I didn't understand why nobody tried to reach me. So yes, I will carry that to my grave.
We just have a few moments left. I do want to ask you about a revelation in the book. You talked about being a young staffer in your 20s for then Senator Clinton, and a sitting U.S. senator forcibly trying to kiss you. You've said it's not sexual assault, but he made a pass at you. You didn't identify this senator. Why not?
So I was very thoughtful. I really thought about what I was going to include in the book. And if you read the whole book, you can see that I have chosen to tell my full truth. And I told that story for two reasons. Number one, I think women or people tend to bury their trauma. And that is something that happened to me. And I had buried it. And the reason it came back to my mind is when I was watching the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and saw Christine Blasey Ford being challenged for some of the things, some memories that had come up, this convenient memory. And it was as I was watching the hearings and listening to this conversation that my experience came back to me. So for me, it's about being able to share my truth. And by the way, I think back in the 2000s, plenty of women, not just in politics, but even in every industry, just endured these things and buried them.
Just to put a pin on it, some senators now have said Huma should identify this person because what if there are other people who have similar allegations? I mean, is this person still in the United States Senate today?
I chose not to name the individual because this story is not about him. This is about me. And in 2021, a woman should be able to talk about her trauma and her confusion and her experience, and it should be okay. Because I think what that story shows is that in the 2000s, that was not okay. You had to shut up and bury it and move on. And so I chose to tell my truth, and that is the truth.
Well, final seconds, this is a story about you. I knew we wouldn't have time to cover it all, but what do you see for your future?
Well, this is a whole new chapter for me. I am doing the thing with you, Savannah, that for my entire adult life I was terrified of, which is putting myself out there and being in public. And so I'm really looking forward to my
Think you'll run for office one of these days?
I am copying Shonda Rhimes. This is my year of saying yes. I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow, okay. You're making a little news there at the end. Oh, that was yes.
Well, that was, I don't know.
Okay. All right, well, good. You'll have to answer it again in the next interview. Huma Abedin, thank you so much. A pleasure to be with you. The book is called Both and A Life in Many Worlds, and it's out tomorrow.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it is.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Welcome back. Some exciting news for our friend Al. His podcast, Cooking Up a Storm, it just launched today.
I haven't listened to it, but the artwork's fantastic.
Yeah, our graphics always do a great job.
So Al and a few incredible celebrity chefs, they're looking ahead to Thanksgiving, and to do that, they are deconstructing every part of the traditional meal, one dish at a time.
That's right. In each episode, a different chef will walk me through a full Thanksgiving recipe. Then we sit down, chat, and learn more about their traditions. Our first episode with the amazing barefoot Contessa, Ina Garten. Here's just a taste of what to expect. I can't imagine this would have happened to you, but have you had anything go wrong?
Me?
At Thanksgiving?
Something go wrong?
Yeah.
Never happens.
No?
No.
Is Thanksgiving your favorite holiday?
Absolutely.
Why?
I just like that it's just a meal, unlike Christmas, which has so much going on.
Yeah.
It's just your favorite people are invited for dinner, and everything is absolutely delicious.
You've hosted Thanksgiving dinners. What's the one thing that, as host, you need to be cognizant of?
You've invited people you love. You want to make sure they all have something they love to eat. What I make sure is there's enough for a vegetarian to eat, and so they can pass up the turkey and have everything else. So I just think it's important to just make sure everybody's well taken care of without them feeling singled out as like, this is the meal for all of us, and that's what you're going to have. And so I think that's really true for any dinner, but particularly Thanksgiving.
Especially if you're the host.
Yeah, because I only invite people I love. I want them to be happy.
How do we time it out so that everything comes out at the right time together?
I write out a schedule. At 3 o'clock, turn on the oven. Mm-hmm. At 3:30, put the turkey in the oven. At 3:45, turn on the second oven. I literally do when I should start making something and when it should go into the oven, when it should come out. And then I know that everything's done at 7:30 when everybody arrives.
So once you've got everything cooked, buffet style or sit down, pass around the dish?
I like buffet style because I think then everybody gets up and gets what they like and they can pass up what they don't like.
Yeah.
And then they can come back and they can go have seconds and it's no big deal.
When did you realize you had that knack, that certain something to entertain, to nourish people, to give them something besides a plain meal?
Well, when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to cook.
Wait,
So
what?
I wasn't allowed to cook. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen.
Why?
I don't know. I think my mother just wanted me in my room and she wanted the kitchen to herself. And so she said, well, it's your job to study. It's my job to cook and just get out of the kitchen. And I got married when I was 20. And I think that's when I started to think this is what I'd like to. I love cooking. I taught myself how to cook with, as you know, the Craig Laybourne's New York Times cookbook, and then later Julia Child's Mastering the Art of French Cooking. I think what I was craving as a child is connecting with people, and I felt that if you feed them, they always show up, and you have a good time together. And that was the connection I loved. So I kept doing it over and over again.
Jeffrey, hey, look, it's no secret. The two of you are, you guys are what I think all of us try to aspire to. I'm sure people ask you, what's the secret?
Nora Ephron used to say when people asked her about her marriage, she'd say, it's 3 words. She'd say, marry an Italian. And I would say it's 2 words, marry Jeffrey. He's just a sweetheart.
And yet you say he's not your best sounding board when it comes to food.
If I ask him if he likes something, he goes, this is the most delicious thing you've ever made. So I don't trust his taste.
I'm one of these people that when they said, Ina wants to do smashed potatoes, because I'm not a big mashed potato fan.
Really?
I'm not. I don't know.
It's a very small circle of one, right?
Yes. See, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That is really good.
Have I converted you? Thank you.
Because I've moved from mashed to smashed,
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Do you ever have a little wine left over in a bottle and you don't know what to do with it? Besides just drink it? Okay, well, if you do or you just love cooking with wine, you're going to want to make these simple desserts tonight.
Today, nutritionist Joy Bauer is in Napa, California, up early in the Vineyard Festival. Hey, Joy, good morning.
Hey guys, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so lucky. I'm in beautiful Napa Valley. I'm at the Live in the Vineyard Country Music Festival. Imagine 3 full days of flowing wine and outstanding musicians. We have Zach Brown, we have Cole Swindell, Darius Rucker, Old Dominion. I mean, it's really something.
Wait,
and I have to
how
give a
did
big
you get in?
shout.
Okay, Joy, we're mad at you. We are real mad at you because we want to be there. How are we not there? That's Cam Country.
Yes.
Okay, I think next year, or actually in a few months, we're doing another one. About 6 years ago, I sort of became part of the festival's family, and I host and MC events. I work with the musicians to help them feel healthy and strong when they're on tour, and there's also a really nice charitable component, which is like near and dear to my heart. So you guys have got to get here and come along with me next time.
All right, okay. Let's get cooking. We need boozy brownies.
Yes. And I just have to give a shout out to Catherine Hall at Hall Winery because she let me take over her kitchen. So this is the easiest recipe ever. There's only 3 ingredients. It takes 60 seconds in the microwave. And I'm starting with, you can either use a ramekin or a short coffee mug like this. I'm going to mist the inside and 3 tablespoons of fudgy brownie mix. 3 tablespoons goes in here. Now I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of a Cabernet, but really any wine that you have on hand, and a sprinkling of some dark chocolate chips. You mix this up, you put it in the microwave for just 60 seconds, and guys, this is what you have. And I decorated it with some raspberries, and you could put some extra chocolate chips, or you could split up your chocolate chips. And I also made it in the coffee mug just so you can see.
That
and
looks delicious. Really yummy.
A 60-second
I'm gonna give you a bite.
dessert.
Okay. Oh, that's cruel, Joy. You know what?
And
that
we
was
should
not
say this
nice.
is not for kids, right? Because the wine does not cook itself off.
This is an adult party. This is a little R-rated.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And one thing I'm going to say that I love about this brownie is that it makes 1 serving. So normally when you make a sheet of brownies, you have the temptation of that whole entire tray. And this is a one and done. It's sort of like fudgy, chocolatey goodness meets all the complexities of the fruity wine. So it's really a sophisticated, fantastic dessert.
Yeah, okay, let's do sorbet.
Okay, next we are going over to our white wine. You actually have the Chardonnay that I'm using over there. And we're going to make a cherry Chardonnay sorbet. And there's only 3 ingredients. So I'm putting into the blender, this is 2 cups of frozen pitted cherries that you could buy year-round in the grocery store, and you already know that this sorbet is packed with antioxidants that are great for your brain and great for your heart. And here we have some pineapple. There's not a drop of added sugar in this entire sorbet. And here comes the star of our show. This is a 1/2 cup of the Chardonnay, and you just blend this up. I'm going to spare you the noise, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hold on, hold the show.
See, that's how I like it.
Yeah, that looks
thick
delicious.
Like that. You eat it with a spoon
Is that-
practically.
Yes, yes. And then a little trick. So wait, I'm going to actually put it in here. I like to serve it in a wine glass. And it's best if you serve it right away, but you can stash it in the freezer and then let it sit on the counter for a couple of minutes to defrost. And I'm making a little bit of a mess, but I swear this is so delicious.
What are you putting
Put
on
some
there?
mint leaves in it,
Yum.
mint leaves.
Oh,
And if you want to thin it out a little bit, what I've done here is into the blender, I added about a 1/4 cup additional Chardonnay, and I made a spiked slushy. Look at this thing.
That looks so
Joy, you're a little
good.
naughty today, and we're into it.
We like naughty Joy.
Yeah, we sure do.
All right,
Thank you,
Joy. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time there. Oh, you're going to want to tune in tomorrow on Today. Someone who knows 30 Rock really well, Tracy Morgan. He'll be here. It's always a good time when he stops by.
A great time. And don't forget, there's a new episode out of Hoda's Making Space podcast. It's out today. This time she's sitting down with a special friend Miss Jenna Bush-Hager.
Friend of ours. She's also going to talk about life lessons that she's learned. She's pretty cool. We're going to have that and more, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.
Hey, Today All Day, we've got a great show for you to kick off your week, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. But first up, I sat down with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra's newest conductor, who's only the second woman ever in the history of major U.S. orchestras to hold the role. Take a look.
The famed Atlanta Symphony Orchestra recently named a new conductor for its upcoming season, and for the very first time, it will be led by a female music director.
Jenna caught up with the maestro herself for her very first interview since that announcement. Hey, Jenna, morning.
Sure did. Guys, talk about keeping your dreams alive. Natalie Stutzmann wanted to hold the baton since she was a little girl, but the world wasn't ready for her. Now at 56, she's done waiting, and instead, she's paving the way. Listen closely and you may hear, along with the piping of the flutes and the thunder of the timpani, history plays a tune of her own. As the first woman to helm Atlanta's 77-year-old symphony orchestra ushers in a new era. Talk to me about what it was like stepping on stage in Atlanta to conduct.
Oh my God. I have no words. It was so moving, and the welcome of the audience, which I met actually yesterday night for the first time, was just amazing.
Natalie Stutzmann conducted her debut concert last week after being named music director, making her the only woman currently to lead a major U.S. orchestra and the second ever to hold such a position. For Natalie, conducting is a childhood dream come true.
I very much remember I must have been 7 or 8, and I was in the orchestra pit and I watched the conductor. And when he was taking his baton, I thought it was Mickey Mouse in Fantasia. He was taking this baton and he was doing this, and the sound was coming there. So I was dreaming to have a baton in my hands. And I must tell you, I have been conducting in my heart, in my soul, all through my life.
The daughter of 2 opera singers, Natalie studied music in school, but as the only girl hoping to conduct, she was passed over. That was a job for men.
It was clear to me that at that time, as a woman, forget it, because you will never make it.
Natalie's backup plan was as impressive as her second act. The French native became a celebrated contralto, performing in the world's most prestigious concert halls and opera houses. But she was always studying the maestros in the pit.
My conducting dream was always there, and no young conductor can have a better teaching course than so many years of music making with the greatest people.
What was it like when you first decided to put those voices that said, because you're a woman, you can't do this? What was it like to quiet those voices?
It was a very difficult decision because, when you come as a singer, you come with your long dress. The orchestra, if you sing well, loves you. Everyone loves you. When you jump on the podium, no one loves you first. You have to make it,
First, the orchestras were suspicious of a singer and a woman on the podium.
So I must admit that I spent many nights coming back to my hotel in tears and thinking the next day I stop, because if conducting is this, if I am going to be treated so bad, I will stop. And the next morning I was going up again.
She was hooked. As a solo artist, she had one line of music, but now she could speak through all the voices of the orchestra. Tell me what it feels like when you're conducting. How could you describe it?
I must say, it's probably the most addictive things on earth. Everything you do with your body language, with your eyes, with what you ask to the musicians, has an impact on the sound they produce. And when you feel 100 people at the edge of your hands, of your body, of your soul, and everyone going in the same direction, it's like, when the birds are flying and you are amazed to see them all flying in the same direction. It's completely impossible to understand how it works. This is the same feeling. It's heaven.
With the baton in hand, Natalie says it's not about gender, it's about the artistry and the music. But she takes pride knowing her success means other women will follow. First on the program this historic night, Verdi's Overture to La Forza del Destino. Translation, The Power of Fate.
I dreamed about it, and now it feels really natural to me. You know, when I'm on the podium, I feel this is where I should be. And this is a very special feeling.
Bravo.
I know, well, we gave her a standing ovation. Well, we didn't stand, but we clapped for her. And we saw that she also received a standing ovation. She has great plans for the future of the symphony. She wants to engage the next generation of audiences. She wants to bring in little girls so that they can see a woman do the job. She also wants to do all types of music from Baroque to hip hop.
Hip hop, trendy.
Yes,
Wow.
she's really
And I can see, I love how she loves it. You can see her passion.
I think she had one teacher who wouldn't even give her the chance.
Crazy. Wow.
And she said that she loves now that she kind of says to him, you know, look what I'm doing.
Check me out now.
Wow. Is there anybody else like her who sang and professionally and conducted?
She's one of the first. She's only the second woman ever in the United States to hold the job.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jenna.
Coming up next on Today Talks, Jill Martin is here co-hosting the third hour. That's just ahead.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. By the banter deliberations.
All right, it just me too.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, Al, Jill, and Chanel reflect on the life and legacy of Colin Powell.
But we begin with the passing of a towering figure in American history. Colin Powell has died at the age of 84. Powell was a military and political trailblazer. He was the first African-American to hold several titles: Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Powell's family announced this morning that he died due to complications from COVID-19 and that he had been fully vaccinated.
They're remembering him as a loving husband, father, grandfather, and a great American. President Bush weighing in this morning, noting that Powell was such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. We want to bring in NBC White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. And Kelly, thanks for joining us. I know you've covered Colin Powell for decades. What are you hearing this morning?
Well, what an extraordinary American life for so many reasons, serving a number of presidents from Reagan to both Bushes. Also having a big imprint on American life as someone greatly admired and as someone who, because of his prominent role, of course, a soldier during Vietnam, a commander of soldiers during the first Gulf War back in the early 90s, and such a prominent figure, a voice people trusted. There were times when he was encouraged to be a candidate himself, something that he rebuffed, but over time used his voice in a political way at times, carefully weighing in on national events, especially as the years went by after his time in government service. Just to step back, let's look at the incredible impact. Having been a soldier, having become a 4-star general, being chosen as the first African American to be the leader of the Joint chiefs advising presidents on military issues, then being the first African-American national security advisor inside the White House, the first African-American Secretary of State. Just extraordinary trailblazing there, and such a trusted voice, respected across the political spectrum. He was encouraged to run, chose not to do that himself, and had been, of course, strongly identified with the Republican Party because he had been serving presidents like Reagan and President Bush 41 and Bush 43, also Bill Clinton. But then he did in 1996. He was encouraged to run. That didn't happen. In 2008, at a time when he was a close friend of John McCain, the Republican nominee, he chose to endorse Barack Obama, seeing the sweep of history as the first African-American candidate for the Democratic nomination, who of course became president. And then we saw later how he also endorsed Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and spoke out forcefully against Donald Trump, and did so again after the insurrection of January 6th. His voice was trusted. There was one period that he looked back on with great regret, calling it a blot on his record, and that's when, under the Bush 43 administration and the run-up to the 2003 Iraq War, he presented as Secretary of State information to the United Nations about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That proved not to be true, and that weighed on Colin Powell. He was someone who continued to work in political life here, and one of the things I'm so struck by this morning on the personal side is what a kind and gentle figure he was. As a reporter covering someone of his stature, we sometimes interact with people who are more generous than others with reporters, and he had a kindness about him that certainly many of us saw in person. And he was devoted to his wife, Alma. They were married nearly 50 years, 3 children, a strong family. He continued to live here in the Washington suburbs.
And that shines through. You know, you mentioned the kindness, and I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of us have never met him personally, but you almost feel like he's, you know, that kind of a figure. And I was sitting there thinking, Kelly, as you were just talking, there aren't a lot of people who come through our lifetimes where they're just as beloved in the community as they are on a global scale. And I was just thinking about, I remember, you know, growing up, seeing his book, you know, my grandfather's desk and my grandmother's desk, and it was almost like I didn't even know him, but he was like, you know, in the family, right?
I went to military school, and I got to meet him through my former military commander, and it was just on so many different levels, from a standpoint, he was a kid from New York City, grew up, and to reach those levels, really just we can't say enough, Kelly, and you really helped us put that into perspective about, and I think we're still going to find out more about what he means to the American history and the American public as time goes on.
Admired by so many, Al, really. A role model and admired. And in what are now such caustic political times, he had a gentler figure in his persona, built on the strength of hard work. Nothing came easily to Colin Powell. He earned all of those breakthrough moments and achievements on his own.
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you so much for putting that in perspective for us.
It's a question we've all thought about. What would you do if you had to leave your home at a moment's notice? Would you and your family be ready?
When I got ready to cover Hurricane Ida, I realized, I need a go bag. I used to have one. I hadn't been out and around, and decided you really need one of these things.
Yeah, you talk about it, but do you really do it? That's the thing. So here to show us what we need to do is NBC News senior correspondent Dr. John Torres. Now, you see him. We've talked COVID. We've talked so many things with him, but a lot of people don't realize that you train NATO Special Forces to prepare for disasters. You've written this book. It's called Dr. Disaster's Guide to Surviving Everything. So you certainly know of what you speak.
I do, and it's important, especially right now. I think that's one thing the pandemic's taught us is you need to be ready. And I've had to evacuate for a wildfire where literally we had to get in the car and go. And thank goodness we had stuff in the car ready to go to take us, because I was out of my house for 5 days, had nothing to do, nothing to use other than what I carried with me.
And then once you pack it, you have it, right? So it's one of those things where today we all should just take stock. Do we have these at home? And if we don't, do it and then just put it away.
Exactly. It's very important.
So what do you start off with?
And this is the main thing. So there's 2 different types. This is the go bag. You grab and go. This is, I got to get out of my house now. A fire's coming. There's some reason I have to leave. And it has some important things. Number one, you want a flashlight. You want to be able to see where you're going in the middle of the night. That's extremely important. And then you want to have your first aid kit. Obviously I'm a doctor. First aid kit's very important. It's going to be dependent. If you have kids, it's going to be different than if you have adults, than if you have older adults. You want to make sure, my favorite thing, duct tape. It works for everything. You know that it works for everything. Solar charger, cell phones, you want to charge them in case you can get a hold of people. And then your medication's extremely important. Documents, we'll talk about that. A blanket that you can use in case you get cold. These are. It looks
that's
like
a blanket?
it looks like aluminum foil, but it keeps you very warm.
It's like what the runners use.
Exactly.
Okay.
And something people always forget to talk about: toothbrushes, because you want to make sure your tooth hygiene, even in the middle of all that, and then some cold hard cash always helps too.
Because the ATM, when I was in New Orleans, all the ATMs were down.
And people don't
there was
realize
no
that.
power,
and it might
nobody
be,
had cash.
And it might be that you have $20. It might be that you have $200. It might be you have $2,000. Whatever you have small denominations, because nobody's going to be able to break 100 for you. And then I'm a big advocate of garbage bags, plastic bags, just because you can use them for everything. It can be a poncho, it can be a garbage bag, it can be storage for water, it can be anything.
What about documents? Because a lot of times we think about the physical things, but identity and identification.
And that's a huge thing. And that's what we found out when we were out and about, because we had to do different things. You want to have all your documents. Passport, IDs, home liens,
originals
home
or
mortgages.
copies?
Copies are the best thing to have. You want your originals stored somewhere. If you can store them online, even better, because then you can access them from anywhere. So that's extremely important.
And also the lamination for photos. Like people want to grab those special photos.
And now, of course, your COVID card for your vaccination. You want to make sure you have that as well.
Check.
Simple backpack.
Okay, the solar part got me, and the duct tape. Never thought about that. I was honest.
What's the most unique use for duct tape that people wouldn't know?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can use it to actually put wounds together if you need to before you can get to the emergency room. If it's a big gaping wound, you can use that real quickly to put it together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go bag.
And this is a different go bag. So that's taking it and going. This is having it in your car and ready to go in your car, which is what we did in our wildfire. Okay. And then we take off. So you have a few more things because you don't have to necessarily carry it with you. Maps, extremely important. You want to make sure that you know where you're going.
Physical maps.
Yes, maps. Yeah, ponchos. Again, you can use the garbage bag, but ponchos work great. Okay. Some way of lighting a fire, because you might need to go out there. You might not be able to get in a hotel. You might need to rough it for a bit. An emergency radio. I can't overemphasize emergency radio.
It's one of those hand crank models.
It is hand crank. It's solar. It has the NOAA, the National Association of Atmosphere, whatever it stands for.
National
Those guys. And then a headlamp and a hat. Especially in the middle of winter, you want a hat. The headlamp's important because you want to be able to free your hands. You can just put it around your head.
Power goes out.
And then you can work all sorts of different things. And then something people often forget about. You want to put food in here as well. Have food that you can carry. Sometimes it's canned food. It's hard to open canned food with a can opener.
No use without.
Exactly.
Dr. John, what about water? How much water should we have? Per person.
Right, and what they say is a gallon a day per person, and so you want to make sure you have enough water for everybody. And that doesn't mean carrying 2 weeks worth of water. Just a couple days worth of water can really help out, and so it's important.
I went on an RV trip and I didn't have an EpiPen. And I didn't know, is there something you should actually look forward, like if you have allergies, things that you should have in your bag?
And that's important. You want 30 days worth of your medications.
30 days?
Yeah, 30 days. You can go to your doctor and see if you can get an extra prescription. You can talk to the pharmacist about having them on hand. But once you leave, you don't know when you're going to be able to get back to something, especially like you mentioned, you were in a hurricane.
Yeah, what would you actually use, say, hurricane, earthquake, something like that?
So a wildfire, N95 masks. You want to use those because of all the particulates around there. With the earthquake, you want to make sure, again, a crank radio. It can help you understand where you are and what's going on around you. The headlamp's important because it can get you to, in the middle of the night when there's no power out there. Those are important things. But overall, it's basically having the stuff you need in order to survive, you and your family, for even just for a few days. And that's the important thing to do.
Right.
And also, when you were in breaking news, didn't you used to have a to-go bag?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that you had it and everything. You have to have it to go.
Absolutely.
And now, one of the things, you mentioned my book.
Yes.
I want to give you a copy of my book here.
Thank you
It
very
can help
much.
you with everything. It can't help you if you get in trouble at home, though.
Oh,
You're on your own there,
That's
right?
a whole different book. That's a shorter pamphlet. It's just an attorney's number.
That's right. It just says, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Dr. John, thank you so much
bet.
for coming in. It's one of those things we talk about it, but you actually have to do it.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, tips for a haunted Halloween home makeover. That's coming up next.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, we've got fun decor ideas to get you in the spooky spirit. Take a look. Okay, if you haven't had the time to decorate your home, whew, I'm feeling a little loopy. Decorate your house yet for Halloween. You better get going. Halloween decorations, they're selling out fast.
But don't you worry, we got a monster list of fun decor ideas that you can still get in time for those trick-or-treaters. And here to show us how to do it all is Monica Mangan. She's the lifestyle expert for East Coast Creative.
Okay, and you guess what? You can shop along, right? So all you need to do is scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen.
Monica, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
We're going to start with spiders, and the easiest way to decorate, check this out. We have a spotlight. This is literally no fuss decor. You put this on your house, it's decorated, done and done. So if you want the easiest way, and it's a really great idea to stick it in a planter, the further it is from the house, the larger your spiders are going to get.
Huge spiders.
Huge spiders. And then this cover here, what I love about it is it's $7 and it's plastic. So it can get wet, but it really, I mean, it transforms your door instantly. Add a few spiders to it. And I actually think we might have a guest coming too today.
Okay, come in. Who is it? Oh, what is that?
So you can become part of your decor. How fun is this?
That's kind of cool.
Isn't that great?
Outfit, right?
You'll
How do the glasses feel?
You'll never lose your kids either. So if you want them to wear this trick-or-treating, you're never going to lose track of them.
You could do a fun
Or you could just have them wear it every day.
Yes, isn't that so fun?
Thank
so
you.
we have that link
Super
too.
cute.
All right,
we're sticking with spiders. Yes. So we have everything set up here. Spiders are just the creepiest. And look how simple these are. You're going to have pumpkins, but take one of these push pins and you just pop them right in.
Oh my gosh.
And you can tell they're actually like heavy duty metal, so they'll last year after year, but they take your pumpkins instantly creepy, right?
Like
you could do them into gourds, things like that. And then for this DIY, these are spider egg sacs, which is just disgusting even to say, right?
Yeah.
So what I have here are just some tights that I got at the dollar store, really inexpensive. I'm gonna fill it all the way with spider web.
Okay.
It's like putting tights on, right? It's gonna be good.
Okay.
All right, spread a little bit of it on the outside, and then spider rings. They just stick right in. It looks so creepy. And then to hang it, you're just going to use a light clip like you would use for Christmas lights around the season. Obviously, we need to tie it all up. But you can see back there just how creepy they look if they're hanging from your front porch.
Inside.
Aren't they so gross? In a good way.
Yeah.
All right, less creepy over here.
This is going to be like our kids area.
Right?
Happy. And Hoda likes unicorns.
Yes, I do.
Yes. This unicorn skeleton, I mean, skeletons come in so many shapes and sizes now, and we even used a little craft paint on the rib cage to add a little more rainbow there. The tip for making Halloween less creepy, more fun is embrace all the colors. Embrace rainbows. Embrace regular party supplies. You talked about a lot of it not being available right now. Just think of birthday balloons. Just think of garlands. This could all work under a covered porch. And I got these tombstones, you know, kind of creepy. Spray paint them bright colors, totally looks completely different.
And I love the pumpkins.
Right?
How did you make this guy?
So this is a kit, and it comes with everything you need. It's super kid friendly because it's all peel and stick, and you just pop it in. Really, really fun. And I think it came with like 12 or 10 of them in one kit, so you can make a bunch of them. Super fun.
Cute. Okay, let's move over to this under the sea theme.
Yes. So what we're getting you to think of is you can work with just the building block spider skeletons, but it can look totally different. So end of season, you have lots of pool noodles left. We use that to be our seaweed, right? we couldn't, if you can't get a lot of Halloween things, think in different departments. So little gold coins, make a treasure box, dress your skeletons up as pirates. And look, she's a mermaid. That is a mermaid skeleton.
Brilliant.
How did you get
right?
Where did you get
so
these?
These are from Oriental Trading Company, and I checked. They're in stock.
They're in stock. Okay.
They're in stock. Okay. Little jellyfish. So really thinking out
jellyfish skeletons.
Yes.
That's
and
so
he even
crazy.
lights up too. And how cute is he with the little bandana?
Love.
So you can just create a different theme. It doesn't always have to be just your traditional Halloween. And I think the kids are going to love it so much more.
Good. I like that
You're
it's in
so
stock.
creative, and I like the backdrop. That's also from there.
Yeah. So it's those are just party birthday balloons, blue, and we put them in a fishnet.
You're so clever.
Right?
You're so
Super
smart.
simple. And none of it was hard.
Thank you so much. And to check out this Halloween decor, head to today.com/shop. Today Talks continues after the break. We have an exclusive chat you can only see here on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your newsfeed to life. Streaming live every night, it's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day. We just had a black cat cross our path. See, there it goes, crossing our path. But can I tell you, I want to just pet. I love cats. Where'd it go?
Cats.
I love
Does
cats.
anything creep you out? Do you really get superstitious?
No.
The whole step on a crack, step under a ladder.
Step on a crack and break your mother's back. No, I think that's an old wives' tale. But I will say, and I love cats, and we always had black cats.
Yeah.
One named Cowboy, one named Willard, named after Willard Scott. But on Halloween, we would have to keep our cats inside because people were weird about and mean to black cats.
Okay, but let me ask you this: if you saw a ladder,
would I walk under it?
Would you? And you had an option of going around it. Would you go? I don't know. I'm asking you if you care.
Like if you saw a mirror, would you try to break it?
No, that's different. If I'm walking and there's people in the way, would I go out of my way to go around?
Yes.
You would.
Would you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want any extra bad stuff coming. Is it a full? Did you see the full moon? Was it a full moon?
What?
This morning, yeah, I think it was full. It was really
You
big
mean
and
last
beautiful.
night?
Well,
okay, so yesterday we were driving home, and all of a sudden, and I just love that, this is how you detect that something beautiful is happening. Henry goes, why are all these people taking pictures? We look out, and I just look at him like, oh, maybe it's an Instagram influencer moment in the wild, you know? Henry's like, looking behind, and there's a huge rainbow over New York City. There was actually a double rainbow.
What?
But the fact that we had to find people taking a picture for us to find the natural beauty moment, it cracks me up.
By the way, that's so crazy. So there was a song, what I've noticed lately about, speaking of that, because we've been talking about rainbows, and we were trying to see it last night because it was raining and sunny.
Yes.
We couldn't find it before bed. But we played this song. And it's a Daniel Tiger song. I'm see if I can find it really fast. No, this is important because you know why? But do you know why?
No.
It made Haley's eyes well up.
Hoda used to go to the Grammys after party, and now she spends her Sunday nights listening to Daniel Tiger. I knew this day would come. Remember when you'd be like, oh yeah, just hanging out at the Grammys, and you'd be like, what'd you do this weekend? And I'd be like, oh, not much.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right?
That is such a funny thing.
It is so true. Now
But
Daniel
Goodnight
is
Sun
here.
makes me emotional now. Everything does. Everything does. It happens. All right, that's it for this episode of Today Talks. Keep watching for more of Today All Day.
From Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Hey guys, welcome to Today.
Nice to have you with us.
You talk about some energy. This is a lively bunch.
Are you guys ready to turn this baby pink? 3, 2, 1,
go! Tears, smiles, laughter, and hope. A big inspiring crowd helps us mark International